Welcome back, dude and dudettes, to another wild episode of Send It Mate. We're here to talk about all things hunting and outdoors. And today, we've got something that'll keep your gear running smoother than a dingo's getaway.
That's right. Our show is brought to you by High Caliber, the gun and knife oil company that knows how to keep your firearms and blades in tip-top shape.
High Caliber is like the secret sauce for hunters, anglers, and outdoorsy folk everywhere. It's like the magic potion that makes your gun and knives happier than a dog with two tails.
You know, guys, I've been using High Caliber oil for a while now, and let me tell you, it's the duck's nuts. My rifle practically sings a lullaby when I take it out hunting.
And speaking of lullabies, ever tried sneaking up on a deer with a squeaky gun? It's a prime way to end up with no venison in the freezer. You'll be hungrier than a vegan at a bacon festival.
Absolutely. But with High Caliber oil, your gun will be quieter than a ninja in moonlight. You'll be stalking your prey with the grace and stealth of a mountain lion.
High Caliber doesn't just keep things quiet, it also prevents rust and corrosion, so you won't find your gear looking like it spent a season at the bottom of a creek.
That's right, and for you knife enthusiasts out there, High Caliber has got you covered too. Your trusty blade will slice through anything smoother than butter on a hot biscuit.
So, folks, don't let your gear become a rusty, squeaky mess. Head on over to highcaliber.com.au and grab a bottle of their oil today.
And if you use the code SENDITMATE at checkout, you'll get a special discount. I say again, use the code SENDITMATE for all your oil slick, stealthy hunting needs.
Thanks to High Caliber, you'll be sending it in style and silence.
So, gear up, oil up, and send it, mate. High Caliber, the ultimate oil for the ultimate hunter.
Yellow!
It's cracking.
G'day, g'day. We're back again. Another episode of Send It Mate Podcast.
Guess who's back?
Back again.
No, stop recycling things week to week.
No.
Josh is back.
We're all back. It goes without saying. I'm Caleb.
Back. I'm Josh.
And I'm Ryan.
Tricked you.
That stuffed you up, didn't it?
No, I'm just like,
Look in your face. What's going on?
what are we doing?
We're playing swapsies.
We're all assuming the role of
Stop
someone
season.
else.
Okay, I'll be Ryan tonight.
I'll be Josh.
Hi, I'm Josh.
Penis.
Hi, I'm Josh. I'm a Dorito flavored Dorito. That's me.
No, I'm Josh.
Oh, am I Caleb then?
Also, what is in your beard?
I don't know. It could be anything
No,
really.
your moustache. It's black.
It's in it.
Something's in it.
I don't know.
There's
Yeah.
something black and sticky
Yeah.
in your moustache.
Yeah.
Oh, that's coffee.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't stir the granules properly. Yeah.
So I've been making coffee for 33 years.
Yeah. No, I just couldn't wait for it to, dissolve. I was too busy to get my caffeine, too quick to get my caffeine hit.
Wow.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. On the coffees. It's good.
Fair enough. Well, we'll see how you go with coffee rather than alcohol tonight. This could be interesting.
Fuck. Well, what have we been up to, lads?
Well, we've been away for a hunt.
We have.
I already knew that. Just tricking. I was there too.
Yeah, you managed to get away this time.
I did. Thank fuck. Although I didn't get a deer. Oh, I got some deer, just not one that I shot myself.
I've actually noticed something about your hunting style.
You notice a lot of things, Josh. I cannot wait for this fucking delightful bit of information to be divulged.
See it. and
What have
run
you
after
observed?
it.
What have you observed? Come on, tell me. Tell me what I'm doing wrong.
No.
I want to learn.
Everyone has their style. So, like,
What's my style? My style is kung fu fucking style, bro.
No, some people like sitting, some people like just actively walking. By the sounds of it, you certainly like to see deer and run after them.
I am not going to deny that.
Because when you talk about the, like, obviously today I rang you and was like, oh, how'd you go? Because we weren't there for your last hunt. And you're like, oh yeah, I saw the arse end of a deer and I ran after it. So in my mind, all I'm seeing is You're walking along, you see a deer, and you just start sprinting up.
It was exactly that. You're 100% right. I was standing there talking to Hayden, like, which I was like standing sort of off to the side, with like, oh, talk a little bit, and I see a little bit of movement in my eye, and I look up, and I just catch the arse end of a deer as it goes. Like it's coming. I reckon it's coming around the corner of some trees, seen us, and gone, oh fuck, and then turned around and legged it, and I've just seen the back of it, and I've just gone, fuck it, whoop, ran after it. But no, I didn't get very far because I had a bung knee this trip, so I couldn't actually move very quickly at all. I was like hobbling along after this thing. I was like, I want to fucking get it.
You do spend a bit of time chasing tail.
Oh yeah, well played, sir. Well
Do
played.
you realise your gun can move faster than or the projectile can move faster than you can?
It's a
Yeah, but you
2-4-3,
gotta
man. He can run faster than the bullets, let's be honest.
You got to be able to have a line of sight on the thing. That's why I was running, was to try and catch it before it disappeared into the bushes. But no, I did have a crack. I did manage to get a shot off. So when we first sort of had a shot opportunity, we were probably about 600 meters away, and I was with Hayden, and we realised there was two of them. So, and he was behind me. So I was like, come on, come up. And he started to move forward so that we could do a co-op. But then the wind took us set straight down to them. They piss bolted. It was like watching them run, because we had a pretty good position at the top of a hill, watching them my delicious dinner running away for about 1.5 kilometres in slow motion. Yeah.
And when did you pull the shot?
Oh, that was shortly after that, actually. I was looking through some scrub, and I just got a glimpse of two of them that were feeding. They were closer, but in the time it took for the rangefinder to come out, I sort of ranged them sort of by between sort of 100, 150. So I took the right rifle, took a shot quick so they didn't get a chance to run, but it's bloody hit the fence wire and ricocheted. So it's gone bang, the thing's gone, and then flogged it, legged it. Jeez, I haven't even been drinking, I can't even speak.
Flogged it.
Flogged it, legged it, and then all I can hear is a wire going, just like that. Sound exactly like that. When you close a gate, it goes, close.
Well, bad luck. Well, while Ryan was fuck-assing about, we helped your old man get his first deer. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely was. Like, it actually started with a bit of before we went out with you and Dad, I took Dad through the tea tree, and we were just moving slow through the tea tree and just methodically, just like working our way through it. No real plan, just keep the wind the best we can in our favour. And it was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I think, maybe 1:30. We sort of stepped off, and I saw a little fellow buck. He was just sort of coming out, I guess, of like some real thick tea tree, just out into some sporadic tea tree. And he looked at, like at this point, it was about 10 yards away, and he looked at us, and we sort of stopped, and yeah, I would sort of
10 yards?
I was close, man. It was close.
I didn't know it was that close.
Yeah, it was that close.
You could jump on it.
Yeah. And because I was just in front of Dad, and before he's seen me, I've sort of knelt down and sort of arched out of the way of Dad's barrel and put my finger in my ear, expecting Dad just to shoot over the top of me. Well, that's what I was hoping he would do.
That's very dangerous, Josh.
No, it's fine. And at this point, Dad sort of like shouldered his rifle, and the buck sort of looked square at us, and he's gone, "Oh, I don't know what you two are," and then went to go back feeding, and then put his head back up and realised something was wrong. Dad's taken the shot, and it's hit a branch, like right in front of him. I'm like, it's 10 fucking yards. How unlucky can you be?
As a branch, like obstructing where the deer was.
So yeah, he sort of moved out a real thick tea tree into some sort of like sparser tea tree. You know how you can get the two.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
two
shooting through
foliage. Yeah, essentially. Yeah. And hit a branch, and that was all she wrote for that one. And then
what else did she write?
Well, I went back to camp. I took Dad for a bit more of a trek, and then I was like, it's getting sort of like about 2 o'clock and 2:30. I want to get to another spot, so I went back to camp and beelined it back to camp with Dad in tow, and caught up with Caleb, and then we were like, "Oh, do you want to head to this other spot?" And on our way up to this other spot, we saw spiker sitting in the paddock, and Dad's rolled out 2 shots. The first shot missed, went low.
Oh, fuck. So hang on. Backtrack. The first story you're telling isn't the deer that your dad brought back to camp.
No.
That's a different one.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Not
The
more than
plot thickens.
not
as
more
they
than-
say.
like 1,500 meters from camp in that tea tree. Like it was close, bro.
Fuck.
Yeah, real close. Plenty of sign through there actually. But no, the one that Dad got when Caleb and I were with him, that was a few Ks away. And yeah, Dad first missed, and the thing just sort of hopped. And then just went. It didn't even stop grazing. Really, it's just hopped. And it's just doing the grass. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, Dad, load again, and he's let the other round off and dropped him.
Yeah.
Yep. But I think Dad's issue was because he was close. He was probably about 40 meters at most. I think it was his scope height over bore. Like I think he was not aiming high enough. Because there's a certain point where you've got to aim high.
Yeah.
And I think it just would have went underneath his belly or his chest. And the second one, though, knocked him perfectly. And Dad hasn't – this is something that Dad got to see firsthand because he hasn't shot deer before. He's always been baffled about if you hit a deer in the heart or the lungs, how it still runs off. The lungs he can sort of get, but the heart he can't. Dad, when we were gutting him, I pulled out the heart to show Dad. Dad shot the heart, and like pretty much the lungs were just toast, and the heart was like pretty much just had a big seam through it. And it ran, well, how far do you reckon, Caleb?
40, 50 metres.
Yeah. So he got to see firsthand that, like, look, the thing's dead, but it's running on adrenaline.
And it's still oxygen in its blood that's not being pumped. So it's
I mean, there was no exit wound, but it blew out its shoulder on the opposite side, and it still ran 50 metres.
yeah.
Which is an exit wound.
Yeah, but it didn't exit the
Did the round was it a through and through or was it not?
Went through.
No, it didn't.
Yeah. Yep. It was very odd. So, like, just above the brisket is where the entry point was, and then through the shoulder, I had to throw one shoulder away.
Yeah, that thing
exit.
was fucking made. What rounds was he using?
I think he was 147 ELD M's in his 6.5. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Big mess.
Yeah, it's a huge mess.
Half the thing went to the dogs.
But after that, like we, skinned him out, and then we all participated in cutting up some chops with your or you cut up the chops with your reciproc.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah,
Cipro saved the day.
yeah, it was much better than doing my hands.
Oh, fuck. I saw you pull out that handsaw. I'm like, I'm just going to wait and see if he fucking gives up halfway through.
No, it would have gone, kept going.
And then I felt sorry for you. I even found a clean blade for you.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. I'm like, is this blade been used or not? That I really care because you're going to cook your meat.
Nah, I don't think I've cut any asbestos with that thing.
It was a freshie. But you're obsessed with bone in, aren't you, Josh?
He likes bones
man.
and things
It's
Yeah,
a game changer for you.
in me.
yeah. Look,
Especially
and
raw.
I'm. You can't say that you notice the difference in the flavors. Surely,
In the rump.
being bone in chops or
bone in
just
the
back
Fucking
chops.
oath.
Yeah,
Tastes different.
Tastes way different. It's better.
yeah, 100%.
And it's kind of nice having like structure in the meat while you're cooking on a barbie.
Yeah,
Like the structure of the bone.
yeah,
I don't know. Just is.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't take you serious with the fucking poo in your moustache.
Really?
It looks like you've got like
It
a
looks like
tiny
poo.
fleck of feces in your moustache.
I'm leaving it there. That's going to be my halfway through the podcast, my coffee shot. I'll just be licking the poop from around my lips.
What is that, Hanky? The Christmas poop?
Mr. Hanky.
Yeah, that's
He looks
it.
like a mental patient.
Mr. Hanky or me?
The bit of poo.
You with your poo moustache.
Moustache.
Your poo-mo.
Hey, man. Some people are into poo stuff.
That's Josh. Oh, you're playing Josh tonight. No, I'm
Yeah.
not Josh.
No, I'm playing Josh. I've got
do.
poo on my face and I'm Josh.
I do wonder if people are actually into scat. Like they're actually into
Yeah, man.
People are, yes, people actually are. And
Have-
those
I've
people
not-
have a
Have you
screwface.
come across anything in your
As in
my watch.
Hang on. Like, there's a couple of videos that have been circulating, like with just some fucked up shit on it. When you say come across, you mean have you been
means in
intimate
real
with
life.
someone that's into poo stuff, poo players that would
Yeah.
Never.
Never.
poopy play?
It's never come across my desk. Put it that way.
It's never.
This is one of those things where, like, I've always said, like, don't knock it till you try it, but just
Not poo.
I don't think I'd even want to try it. Like, just the smell alone would be like, I mean, Jesus, I nearly killed Hayden yesterday on the drive home. And then, like, imagine
Hang on.
being like,
How?
when I farted, I didn't, and then I did proceed to shit in his house, and he can't go down the back end of his house now for at least 2 weeks. It was terrible. It was like the ultimate Mickey D's, and there was Hungry Jack's and coffee.
Oh, you stopped off at Hungry Jack's.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, we did. I ordered like $50 worth of food, and probably I ate about $40 worth of it, and then realised I'd fucking ordered way more than I could eat.
Is that why you're not drinking tonight?
That is exactly why I'm not drinking tonight, because I feel like a fat fuck.
Yeah, we just had a coffee on the way home. That was it.
We did. I did ask if you wanted to stop, but I got no reply from.
You must
The
have
back seat.
Well, you must have done it while I had headphones in, editing our podcast.
No, I did it multiple times.
I was editing pretty much the whole trip.
As we were driving, as we were
He asked
coming
you
in
multiple
Adelaide,
times in the span of 10 minutes while you had your headphones on.
I even said, "Are you hungry?" To which you replied when we got just off the freeway in Adelaide,
Wow.
and you were like, "No, I'm all right."
So I've learned to auto drive.
Auto drive.
Oh, not auto drive. What's the
Autopilot.
autopilot? Conversations
Autopilot
with you.
responses. Just
Auto drive.
It's like that quick
I've
movie.
learned to autopilot
what's that?
conversations.
What was that ad for when that bird puts the bird on the phone? When that lady puts the parrot on the phone's like, oh no. Oh no.
I can't
RAA?
remember.
I think it is the RA.
It's probably insurance, yeah.
Oh, something like that. That was funny.
Wow.
That's
That's
in the-
obscure as fuck. I barely remember that.
It was like getting autopilot responses. You can put a fucking parrot on the phone. Fuck, it was my parrot, be like, oh, you sick cunt.
Actually, that's quite funny because this week's topic is, and it's a bridge that I kind of could go into, but this week's topic is,
Well, you're making the segue. You may as well do it now.
Come on, mate.
Is-
We've led you into it this far.
see you next Tuesday.
Yay.
Well done. I'll clap that bloody segue, Josh.
Thank you. Thank you.
Someone said cunt and you said see you next Tuesday.
Well,
Well done.
this is kind of why I wanted to just jump in. This is going completely off of our performer, but that's okay.
What's
Wow, whoa, hang on. Are we like ad-libbing now? Is this like
That's not allowed.
Isn't it? Oh,
course it
shit.
is.
Someone called Camp Mum.
all right, someone give me a subject.
Scat.
Give me a place. What's that fucking the thing that they do in drama class where you
I don't know.
Improv.
That's it.
Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan. I'm Saskatchewan.
What?
He's on a horse.
Who's a horse?
That's the Saskatchewan.
It's a place in
It's a
Canada.
It's a place in Canada.
That's why it's funny. And I didn't know that, but thank you very much.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
I'm trying to bridge improv.
wrong fucking joke right there. No one knows what's going on.
I think I like the alcohol better.
I need absolute silence, please. Shut up! I need absolute silence. Haven't you seen 21 Jump Street?
Yes, but I don't remember movies and commit them to fucking memory like
What do you
do.
mean?
I watch them once, I move on, I forget them. Unless they're really good and worth watching second time.
But you can recall information about capital cities like you fucking have a dictionary in front of you.
Exactly. I retain certain information, not other. I have to
Do
make
you have
room
like a
somewhere.
file in your brain where you're like, yeah, delete that, delete that, delete that?
That's what happens when you're organised.
Yeah.
You organise your brain as well.
But I feel like you just know less.
I actually feel dumb. I actually I operate at a level, but I actually feel dumb compared to what I used to, and I don't know why. Like I'm just so much less sharp, and my general knowledge and being up on world events is just gone to shit. Like sometimes, like listening back to last week's episode, and you were talking about bloody Sentinel Island, and you just knew about it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck, I didn't know a thing. I'd never heard of it.
Fucking slipping.
And I feel like I'm slipping.
We're all catching up.
Read a fucking book, mate.
I actually feel like I'm slipping. Like, I used to be quite well read and up on everything.
Not as intellectually stimulated. Not having anyone tickle
See-
your brain, pickle.
See, I find this the opposite, man, with YouTube these days. And okay, you can't take everything on YouTube as fact, so you cross-reference it with whatever other sources you can. But I find that, like, there's that much information now that's so easily accessible, and you can learn a lot and know a lot. I mean, you might only know like cue cards amount of information, but it's enough to trigger, I don't know, a conversation, or it's enough to trigger sort of, you know,
Interesting.
something in your
Something
memory.
interesting. Yeah, I didn't even use YouTube as a reference at all. I just go direct to credible sources because otherwise you got to watch YouTube. They'll raise points, then you got to find the sources, which is normally in the fucking.
Half the time, I don't even know if I'm fucking interested into it unless it comes up on my feed in YouTube. Like, I'm not going to go out and Google fucking Sentinel Island, but if it comes up on my feed and then I like listen to a thing about it and then jump online and read about it, well,
So you
cool.
only pay attention to what the algorithm tells
No,
you.
I Google stuff as well.
Do you subscribe to things on YouTube?
I do actually. Yeah, and some of it's like weird shit, like sciencey shit. Like there's a dude that and his missus that in the States that do like kids' science experiments, pretty much. But fuck, they're cool to watch.
So you watch kids' TV on YouTube.
No, they're like just,
My 6-year-old does the same thing.
they're just like random things that they're like, oh, this is what you can do if you've got this and this and this in your house. You combine them like this, it makes fucking
That's
something
like
weird.
the new age like kids TV programs is YouTube channels. There's heaps of them like that, and there's most of the time it's just like adults that are getting on board the fucking YouTube train.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have known what those items have done, like would do when they're mixed together, unless it was for that. Caleb's just tonguing his fucking his dangleberry on his lip.
His name's Ryan, by the way.
What did I call him?
I mean, you might remember random things off YouTube, but at least I remember people's names.
all over the place
You
today.
called Brian Caleb.
No, isn't it backwards day?
I'm Josh.
Only
No,
when-
he's Josh. You're Caleb.
only for comedic effect.
Well, who are you then?
Ryan. Jesus. Fuck.
No, I'm
You know
Jesus.
when like you're the smartest like man in the room, you should leave. Yeah, I need to do that fucking mic drop again.
Oh, I haven't told that joke before.
At least I tell jokes.
Sometimes it's not a good thing.
You are a joke. Like your fucking Nazi haircut you just got.
I'm trying to grow my hair long and it's just not happening, man.
So we need to describe your haircut now. You've got it's not a, so I normally get a skin fade, a zero fade I normally get. You've got zero, I'm assuming, all the way up to your hair. It's not a fade. You've just gone zero up to long hair.
Nope, it's a fade.
You've got like the
There's no
60s
fade involved, man.
Elvis like curl thing going on as well in the front of you.
I see no fade. I see zero all the way up to the top of your head, which on top of your head is long hair.
No, it's a fade. It's just my hair on the top of my head is that long. It's just
But
looks ridiculous.
He arrived freshly showered when he got here, and it looked like he'd Brillowed his not Brillo, Brill cream like they used to do back in the 30s and 40s.
Brill?
Brill cream. You know when dudes had like their hair slicked back? It's called Brill cream.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Oh, like greasing your hair. Like
Greasing your
where
hair,
that
like,
comes from.
yeah, slick back. And Josh looked like he just had Brill cream all through his hair.
Oh, that's why you got the little cowlick thing in your. Oh,
Yeah.
mate, you're rocking the 60s tonight. I tell you what.
Yeah, boy.
It's a little bit third.
Give me a little bit of barbershop. Oh, that's sort
You
of
want me
40s,
to cut
isn't
your
it?
hair?
Anyway, if we keep waffling on like this, it will be Tuesday. It's currently Monday.
Yeah.
well, fuck you, because like just getting like the quick segue.
you were going on a tangent. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was going on a tangent, and I think I may have mentioned this in the podcast before, but I just wanted to ask you when it was acceptable that calling someone a cunt became normal.
I actually remember the first time I heard someone use the word cunt.
in a derogatory term or a friendly term?
In a friendly term.
When?
It was on site. So I got my first job in construction when I was 18, and it was about 6 months in. I was on site. There was the dude doing the site cleanup was like an old dude. He was like had to be pushing 60, trekking around with a cigarette in his mouth, and he just called people cunts. Like didn't say people. He's like, oh, you know, those cunts over there, this, that, and like this is like little old Christian me who's, well, not little old Christian me, but I hadn't really. Because in school, we went to a Christian school and like it wasn't really used when I was in high school.
Yeah, if someone did use it, it'd be like, what?
Yeah.
Shit, lock down the school.
Yeah, I mean like every other curse and foul language and all that sort of stuff, but the word cunt, not really, not in the circles that I associated with anyway. And then this dude was just, and I was just like,
He was so flippant
What?
with it.
yeah. And then I also remember the first time I used foul language in just a social environment as well. That was when I was 16.
And it was whilst you were on stage performing at church.
Yeah. Oh no, actually, I have done that. Yeah. No, this is outside of that, and like I don't know, because when you go to church, you sort of stick around those social groups. You don't really hang out with people that aren't Christians.
You're in a bubble with
You are in a fucking bubble. And when I started working at Bilo, I think I might have been 15. Fucking Bilo, man.
Your Bilo existed then.
Yeah. Bilo before it became Coles, before it became fucking Woolworths or whatever it is. No, I was night shift, mate, at Bilo. Scoot down to Bilo, do me 3 hours on Thursday and get paid $12. It's great.
For 3 hours. Or
Nah, it wasn't
$12
$12
an hour.
No, I wasn't even on that. I was on like $11 something. I think it was like $11.28 or something weird an hour.
Jeez, that's all right. It's better than Red Rooter.
Yeah, it was night shift as well.
Yeah, you get paid.
Get paid more. I had to work till like at least 9:30 at night and have my mum come pick me up.
But the demographic of associates changed.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. So like there was this older, there was like the night shift assistant manager or something. And they were like carrying on. It was my second day that I was working there. And I remember standing in the aisle, like stacking the shelves. Now talking about something. And they're like, oh, that's all right. It's a bit fucked. And I was like, it's a bit fucked. Like I didn't even say fuck. I couldn't even bring myself to do it. And then she looks at me and she goes, it's all right for you to swear, Ryan. Yeah. And that was the first time in my life that someone had told me that it's okay to swear.
Wow.
And I was like, I didn't know what to do with myself. I'm like, it's fucked. Fucked. It's fucked. Fucked. It's fucked. Shit cunt motherfucker. And then from there it was all downhill.
Yeah, it was a steep
I
slope.
I spiraled out of control from there, man. I tell you what.
Steep.
Once you've said it once in certain environments, it's like a almost, if you get away with it, it's just permission, and then it just suddenly rolls off the tongue then. Like it's just, every day.
Well, I used to cop it from my parents pretty bad when we swore. Like, and if I swore at my parents, look out. And that was like,
Look out.
yeah.
When was
look
the
out.
first time you swore in front of your mum?
I reckon I actually said fuck you to my mum, and that was the first time she heard me swear.
Ladies and gentlemen, insight to Ryan.
I was a very aggressive child.
Kiss your mum with that mouth.
Needless to say, I was not the favourite.
What about you, Caleb? Because your family is quite strict, and I'm going to just jump in here. When I was younger and I used to go around to your house, you were allowed to use the word crap.
Yeah.
And in my family, crap was a swear word.
Look out.
Oh, yeah, I was allowed to use crap when I was a kid. Is that what you mean by swear? Because I used the word crap in front of my mum.
No, just whatever your family
talking
defines as a
fuck
swear
or
word.
shit or
Yeah,
whatever.
nah.
Yeah, crap was all right.
Were you
But
always allowed crap, or was it one of those things that
no,
wore
we
your
always
parents
allowed,
down?
always allowed crap. That was pretty much the strongest word that got used around home. Mum always dropped swear words, like it's almost on special occasions. She would just roll with something.
As in, like, just
Oh, Mum would drop an F-bomb.
in the
Like,
heat.
but it would be like an extreme situation of like anguish, and she'd say,
Oh, like the way you're saying, I'm thinking like she's just sitting with a glass of wine and she's like, had a fucking good day today.
But no, in general, my parents don't swear. So when I'm around them, I don't swear.
Yeah,
I
no,
won't-
my
I
mum
don't-
swears like a bloody trooper. Well, not a trooper, but she's got a potty mouth on her now as well.
See, that's the other thing. Like, did your mum and dad swear when you were young?
No, not at all. My dad still doesn't.
So it's becoming socially like just accepted these days.
Oh, it's commonplace. I didn't hear my dad swear until I was probably about 15 or 16, and I dropped a sheet of iron on his arm when we were trying to lift it up, and it sort of slipped because I couldn't hold it because I was like up a ladder and I was trying to help him. And yeah, it like slipped out of my hand and it sort of landed on his arm. It didn't cut him or anything, but that's the first time I heard him swear.
What did he say?
Fuck.
Oh, he pulled out the big gun straight away. Yeah.
So up until then, I'd never heard him. I'd heard mum every now and then, but yeah. I don't know. It was just, I don't know. And then
I reckon the first time I heard my mum swear was when she called me a little shit.
You little shit.
I never
That
really
was
used
at
to.
6 hours and 51 minutes old.
My first job after uni is when I started swearing a lot because everyone at work swore a lot.
Really?
Yeah. And there was a lot of frustrated people. So
Which job was that?
first job after uni.
Is that when you were working as a graphic designer?
For the big the big packaging company. I'm not a graphic designer, I'm an industrial designer.
Industrial designer. I keep telling everyone you're a graphic designer. I reckon I told a
The
couple.
large packaging company that I used to work for, people swore a lot.
Yeah, I mean, like warehouses and construction, and there's probably like the two of the most potty mouth industries you can work in. Unless
Yeah,
it's
all the factory
porn,
boys did.
you know.
Even in the office, like in design where I worked.
How'd you go around women, man, or swearing with women in the workplace?
There was one female that worked with us and she was pretty quiet and didn't say anything, so we sort of just did it anyway. And the worst was an ex-army bloke and he swore a lot.
Yeah, it's just common language in the army.
But then like most of the women where I worked were all trying to sort of make their way in a very male-dominated environment. So anyone who got offended easily or couldn't put up with a bit of swearing and carry on very quickly exited working there. And all the women that were there were real fucking weathered bitches who were just trying to be like, well, I'm going to stick it to the blokes. You and your fucking boys club.
Like out to prove.
Prove a point. They would, yeah. So they could all handle it. A lot of them swore as well.
I didn't really work with women until, like, there was that chick at Bilo, but she was like, yeah, she was rough. Funny as hell, but rough. I didn't really work with women until like the last probably 6 years, I reckon, because I'm just in construction. And
was that the 5 minutes where you made your son?
yeah, it was 3 minutes to be exact. 2 minutes to wash myself. So it was, I suppose 5 minutes all up. Use the sink. Thank you for asking.
Someone swore during that briefing.
Yeah. Something along the lines of, fuck's sake, not again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Business as usual.
Yeah, never really worked with oh, sorry. No, there was this one chick who was a chippy who rocked up at a job that I was doing, and she would just wear short shorts and a bra to work. Short shorts, a bra, tool belt. Never saw her lift a fucking hammer or a nail gun, but she had a potty mouth on her as well. So
I remember you talking about this girl
Yeah.
many times, actually.
She was good looking. Like, she was young. She was definitely like just, you know, how you get a vibe from a girl when she flirts with everyone. You look at her and you're like, yeah, she's a few croissants short of a fucking continental. So you sort of steer clear, like real over the top sort of girl. She was like that. Like, she seemed nice. But
Darwin was littered with those type of chicks, man. And like you'd meet them and they'd be like, hey, you fucking going, cunt. You'd be like, oh, God, see ya.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like you're describing a fucking crackhead from the north.
No, that was like the posh areas, mate. It was like, what the fuck? Catch ya.
Yeah.
See you next Tuesday.
Oh, it was terrible. The army was just common practice, man. Like a similar thing, man. Like, yeah, Christian household, 17, getting the big wide world, and there's a dude just standing there calling you a fucking dickhead and this and that. And you're like, yeah. And then, like, I think within a week, like, the brainwashing was complete.
Oh yeah, you assimilate into your surrounds.
Yeah.
I think like one, swearing is fun, but I don't think two, I don't think cunt has become so commonplace until maybe, or certainly for me, certainly the last
Nah, because
5 years.
you and your missus say it all the time in conversation.
We do, but that's, I mean,
That's commonplace, maybe.
yeah, I know, but I've been with her maybe, 4 years?
Yeah, I think it's been in more commonplace in 4 years.
Oh, it's just Australian. Like Australians are the most potty mouth people.
But I'd say the last 6 years I've used it, like, because to me it still was, I'd drop the F-bomb all the time, but cunt was still like that next level that I reserved for special occasions. And now it's just part of my vernacular.
Do you know what? I reckon it's only of late that I've sort of had more usage of the word cunt, because typically I wouldn't. But then since we started saying it on the podcast, it's like over the weekend, it was like sliding out like bloody melted butter out of a pot.
We're desensitized to it. Like it's got no power. It's got no like, oh shit, that's a bad word. It's not bad. It's just a word.
I
Like
think
it's an
it's
expression.
also-
It's a exclamation.
Well,
Use fuck as a comma. I mean, that's an Australian thing. Like you'd be halfway through a conversation and be like, oh yeah, fucking, it's like a thinking moment that you take and you just naturally
so
say
instead of or
Could you
like,
actually
fuck.
replace it? Could you replace saying with fuck? Fucking, can you just say fucking instead of
You do.
Fuck. No?
It's the
No, say
you
fucking
usually
instead of say fucking. Then I wouldn't have to edit the podcast at all. Like this one time, I fucking went to the beach and fucking that was pretty good and fucking.
I swear too much as it is on this podcast. So nah. See, it's funny because there was a thing on Netflix that was basically was a series about how swear words, and I don't know how they bridged this, but they were saying it is actually linked to high IQ.
I've heard that.
I come away like cheering like a champ. I was like, "Fuck fucking Einstein, bitches!"
So you reckon those fine women in Darwin have a high IQ?
They go home and do calculus.
They might. Who knows?
I don't think so.
Fucking go home and do some fucking quantum physics, fuckers. Yeah.
Well, it's certainly narrowed our range of words that we use swearing. That's for sure. We certainly don't go, I don't even know.
As
how
in,
to
like,
describe
limits
this.
your vocabulary, is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
There's a comedian who actually does a breakdown of the word shit and all the different context. I think he's like from Finland or somewhere like that. And he all his comedy is about the idiosyncrasies of the English language. And he does a thing on shit, like to give shit to someone versus to give a shit. So if I'm giving you shit,
But then I can give
I'm
you
having
some
a go
shit.
at you. But if I give a shit, then I care.
But then I can give you some shit, and that's the shit.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly right. It's the shit means it's really good, versus it's shit means it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's like it's like Australian for the Australian equivalent of forget about it. You've seen that movie? It's like forget about it. It's like interchangeable.
Like a New Yorker.
Yeah. It's like it was a gangster movie. I can't remember what the fuck it was, but it's like this bit in it where they're like
Forget about it.
You know what? Forget about it. Now forget about it. Like the way that they say it in what context means something different. But
Yeah.
like this, you're right. Shit. But like fuck is another one.
Yeah, fuck's huge, yeah.
And
no,
cunt.
No
You could-
fucks given.
That's like
I give a fuck.
fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
Get fucked. Get fucked up.
So it's something, to get fucked up, if something is fucked up, you fucked up.
Yeah.
The one that gets me is Americans' use of it when they go, I don't fuck with that, which to us means we don't mess with it. Like we
Yeah.
don't, but if someone goes, I fuck with that, or in American, it means that they get around it.
What?
Yeah.
Is that like the new age? I'm down with that.
Man, that's just weird.
As in, I fuck
It's
with
weird.
that.
It's weird.
So fuck. I What is it? I fuck with that, or I'm fucked.
Yeah,
I
like
fuck
so.
that.
They might go, I fuck with LeBron.
Okay, if you're into that, that's cool.
So to us, that means we
Maybe
fucking
he's the
hang
one
shit on
that's
LeBron.
fucking-
Like we do something mean to LeBron, but in America, it means like they get around LeBron. They love him.
I mean, context.
It's
context.
weird. That's the one. That's the one thing I can't. Yeah.
Yeah,
fuck with
that's a bit
LeBron.
weird. It is. It just it's a weird subject because like we all swear and it's not PC and you still have these companies that don't really adopt it and then suddenly you've got fucking Northern Territory. See you next Tuesday, cunts. Like
Oh well, they left that off the sticker. I'm pretty sure.
That is some of the best advertising I've ever seen, though.
it stuck and they tried to get rid of it and it still stuck.
I don't know how they approved that campaign.
Because it's as I said, man, like just the average people in Darwin.
It's looser. Up there.
Fungan.
It's looser up there. What's the name of the
They
paper in
breed 'em
Darwin?
different.
There's a paper, newspaper, and they've always got like
Oh, yeah.
like innuendo in their headlines and stuff.
Ah.
We're gonna like
I can't say I read too many papers in Darwin, but it's
no, but then it pops up in the news all the time about what the Darwin newspaper has as a headline on the front page because it's usually absurd or some sort of innuendo.
yeah, I can't remember what it's called.
So
Northern Territory, the Daily. Oh, fuck.
the Daily Fuck.
Daily fuck.
The Daily Fuck.
Nah, I can't. It's not.
Maybe it's just the Northern Territory news. I don't know.
I just like they're never going to get rid of it. Every Australian from now on will know the see you next Tuesday. So we'll see you in the NT, sorry. So
It's
see you
become
next
sort of-
Tuesday.
It's become interchangeable.
Northern
Yeah.
Territory News.
I'm half reading
I
it
think
off
it's
a
the NT
sheet here.
news. I reckon.
Yeah. No, I want to be in fly on the wall for the pitch for that. See you in the NT.
There was a lot of long necks.
Yeah.
It was probably at the Cass because that's the swankiest place in town.
Between hands, it's like, hey, fucking Baz, I got this fucking idea, eh? Got this idea, and it's cunt.
Whilst they're playing the pokies
I don't get it.
in thongs and shorts
Yeah.
and a singlet
But they got a whiteboard there, which makes it official fucking business meeting.
with chalk in their ear.
Writing on the whiteboard in chalk.
It was a government campaign, yeah.
It was, yeah.
Like their version of the Tourism Commission or something.
Fuck me, they had like ad campaigns all over the country. But
That reminds me of that other ad actually that chick did. Or was that the?
that's the South Australian one, isn't it?
No,
No,
you're
that
talking
might have
about
been the
Lara Bingle.
Yeah. Was that the
Where the bloody
See You in
hell
the
are
NT?
you?
No, that's it.
Yeah.
How that then suddenly became un-PC.
What? Where the bloody hell are you?
Yeah.
Nah, that wasn't. That was
Yeah, it
good.
went through like its hype, and then it was like, oh, can't use that language. Fucking.
As
and
in
then
the
it
word
just
bloody?
died. Yeah. Where the bloody hell are you?
It's just because she had her hands out and someone was fucking jealous.
Oh, mate, they bingled that one up, didn't they?
Oh, fucking, let's move on.
Let's get into See You Next Tuesday. Topic breakdown.
That was it. That was my breakdown.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why I
you, Pete
segued.
Gurley. That's what she said.
So
That's
you've
why I said
gone,
it.
you've jumped in, done the topic intro for me, and then just gone straight into your topic.
Yeah, sorry. I
And
just
completely
worked.
said, stuff this run sheet. I'm going to go first.
I just said this at the start, mate.
I love how you did that, actually. You floated it just as a general discussion, just to see how it went. And we've talked for a while about it. So you're like, I'm going to claim that. That was my topic breakdown.
Be honest, you had fucking nothing, didn't you? You had nothing, and then we've just fucking lifted you up onto our backs.
That was exactly what I was going to do. I was going to just etch this in, see where it went, and I was like, yep, good.
The dog ate your homework.
Very good. Very good. Well played. Well played.
All right, so I guess that leaves it up to me.
Ryan's like, oh, you took what I was going to say.
It's got notes and everything.
I went down a rabbit hole with this one, and I actually got quite angry, like seriously angry about
Did it
the
involve
research.
canals?
Yourself.
No, well, you're going to regret making that joke after you find out what it is that I'm talking about here. So see you next Tuesday, cunt. So I was like, who are the cuntiest people in the fucking world? Let's go down that rabbit hole. Let's find out what right fucking cunts there are. And so, like, I found, like, the normal, like, your standard group, Hitler, Stalin, Putin.
Stop Putin it in the ass.
Inspiration for Josh.
Basically, like, dictators throughout history. And there was, like, and then it went down the rabbit hole of, like, crime and that sort of thing. And I stumbled onto an article that was comparing, like, the worst people in the world to criminals and criminal organizations, and then I fucking went down a rabbit hole and ended up stumbling on a pedophile. I don't know, like it's a website advocating for pedophilia.
Dude, the ADF are going to be on your fucking doorstep in a second.
Oh, dude, like, and but the way that it went into it was this guy hey,
hang on. Keep going. Sorry.
So I didn't know, as in it was actual pedophiles' website. It was a article about pedophilia and people that are advocating for it.
Okay.
So, yeah, let me clarify that. I
Meanwhile,
wasn't looking
Ryan's
at kitty
check
porn.
out my Tinder profile. This chick's into me. She says she's 23. But, bro, you've been stung.
No. So
Starts with the two.
it was an
Ends
article
in
that a guy had written about a pedophile and how much he hates this pedophile and thinking that he was the worst in the world, like he was a right cunt. And he left a couple of links, and I followed the links, and he was like, it's outlined this group called the North American Man Boy Love Association.
What?
Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck is that?
NAMBLA.
NAMBLA. Yeah, it's an actual organisation. So you guys might be familiar with PI. You ever heard of them?
Pie.
Yeah, the Pedophile Information Exchange.
No.
They're one of the most controversial ones. I think they're from England or the UK. They were established in 1974 and then disbanded in 1984, but were legitimately a pedophile advocacy group and organisation that ran for political positions, and they were allowed to run. So,
Mate, this is dark, but also... Yeah, I can see where you got
so
angry.
I was like, fucking hell, this has got to be a fucking joke. So I did a little bit more digging. So in that sort of stream of advocates existing, so this NAMBLA was established in 1978. So it was around the same time in New York, and its whole purpose was to legalize sex with children, and they didn't hide that at all. So they still exist today. They have a website, and there's like a bit of grey area, and very sort of no real names are used, and they don't really divulge any information about who the people are. But it was last updated in May this year, and there's donations. There is a complete organisation behind this. I don't know how big it is, but there's a couple of documentaries that, if you punch into Google, like NAMBLA documentary, there's a couple of them. And if you go to their website, they've got details on how they operate and how to make donations and how to advocate for changing current laws. And there's this massive spiel about incarcerated people that just are
Basically saying they're hard done by.
Yeah, they're hard done by. And so on their website, their main aim, it says, is to denounce ageism. Like and they've jumped on the whole LGBTQ whatever bandwagon.
Yeah, piggybacked it.
Yeah, they piggybacked on that, and that's. I mean, this is something I think everyone can agree with is fucked up. Like, these guys are the biggest fucking cunts in the world. And I say guys because it primarily is men, and this website is targeted towards men and boys and whatever. But they specifically say in their website that they're against the age of consent laws. They believe that children should be able to consent to having sexual relations with others at any age. They haven't specified which age at all, if any limit applies at all. And they have prison programs that people can sign up to essentially be pen pals with people that have been convicted of crimes associated with this sort of stuff, and support them. And reaffirm that they haven't done anything wrong. And they actually mention in a couple of articles that they've got about this that the pictures that they are sending these inmates get confiscated because they don't meet standards. And they're right, there's some bullshit spiel about how they think it was appropriate and there's nothing inappropriate or what they send, and they, some bullshit fucking trying to explain away why it gets taken. But it just, the scenario screams absolute fucking
This sounds
cuntism.
fucking terrible.
It is terrible. It is fucking terrible.
Look, this should never, ever, ever, ever even remotely be allowed. I do think it is a cultural thing because there are certain cultures that will marry off their daughters at a young age to older men.
I think that's more of a cultural traditionalism, and
But that's not right either because we're talking like as young as 12. And those young girls don't even know.
Well, it used to be
up
as
from
soon
down
as
anyway.
you got your period, off you go. You're old enough.
yeah, between the age of
Pretty
12
much,
and
yeah, 12,
Yeah,
12,
so like 12,
14,
13.
something like that.
And that's barbaric and outdated in itself, and it should stop. And so all this needs to be stopped. And if we don't draw the line, and we've sort of allowed that line to be changed with the LGBT community or blurred.
Yeah,
And look, I'm not saying that like for or against gays and lesbians or whatever. That's, love who you want to love, but there certainly needs to be a clear line in the ground of age.
well, I think a good example of the lines starting to be blurred is the sexual education programs. Not even sexual education programs. They were put through public schools in South Australia under the guise of being safe. What do they call it? Safe schools program.
Shine or something. It was.
Yeah, which was, again, manipulative wording being used to disguise what's being taught. That introducing young kids in like grade 2 and 3, 4, even fucking up to year 5 and 6 to that kind of sexualization and doing it in a way that promotes gay, lesbian, fucking pansexual. It incorporates all of the whatever you want to call it inside of that box. Does grey
Exposes them to concepts which they would never
that's
even
it.
think
Yeah.
of or come across if it weren't for that program, basically.
100%.
Some of it's even reinforced by the parents, and a lot of time that's the mother.
And that is fucked up.
The mothers certainly. I've seen it a couple times now and heard it a few more times. The mothers are pushing their typically it's sons as well, sons into the fact that they're actually a girl. And
Those, man, the mothers that I have, and this is purely anecdotal, the mothers that I've met
what's the matter?
that are like that,
What's the matter?
Hey? What?
You said crikey. Are we needing to edit something out? Or
Sorry, am I not allowed to fucking make an exclamation at
Oh, no.
this fucking dark topic now?
No,
It is
I
dark.
thought-
Would you
I
prefer
thought-
I said cunt?
No, it sounded like, oh, crikey, I've got to edit something out now. Sorry, go on, Ryan.
I think
Crikey, we're on some
we're in some deep shit.
deep, yeah.
Yeah, man. But it's one of those things that's just, I don't know. This is something that I didn't know anything about. There's this sort of thing exists in our Western civilized world where there is laws absolutely against this, but the fact that these sorts of things can exist and be allowed to exist inside the realm of our culture, that's just, it's mind-boggling.
There's been some psychological papers actually done on children that were abused at a young age, and they say that it's the equivalent of a soldier fighting in war, the trauma that the child received.
Oh, yeah.
for
Shit,
sure.
yeah.
And the traumatic stress it can have, obviously, forever.
These websites obviously understand all the loopholes they need to, or all the boundaries that they can promote what they want to promote without
Getting locked up.
getting taken down. And I'm sure they all are anonymous.
I'm sure they're
There's
being
no
watched.
names at all for a very good reason, because you wouldn't want to be seen as promoting that because it's not accepted in society, nor should it ever be. But it's just very interesting with the whole freedom of speech stuff that they can basically advocate for something that universally
Look, we should never censor speech.
99.9% of people would go, that's fucked.
Yeah.
we should never censor speech, but there needs to be some clear rules and stopping. Like, say, if you've been abused, the chances are you abusing are actually greater than as if you weren't. So it's a perpetual thing that you can actually cut down the percentage of it happening a lot by stopping it generationally.
I think just to clarify, the data on that is to clarify what you're saying. A majority of people who do commit those sorts of things.
I'm not saying
abused.
everybody.
Yeah, you don't mean.
I'm just saying that
because the way you worded it sounded like you said, if you get abused, you will abuse other people.
No. The chances are, if you get abused, the chances of you abusing are greater. So we can cut down this percentage of abuse and this percentage of these like-minded people in the future. We can minimise that if we stop it now. We can stop the generational pattern happening.
It's a repeat pattern, but it's what I'm saying is it's not if you get abused, the chances are higher. It's just the majority of people that do abuse people have been abused themselves. So we need to clarify what you're saying there because
so that would be exactly the same thing.
No, it's not.
It is the same
It's
thing.
a different
It is the
thing.
same
That's
thing.
saying that everyone who gets abused has a higher chance of abusing someone else, but the people that have been caught abusing other people, a greater majority of them have been abused themselves.
That's
No, it's not. It's different.
Put your thing down, flip it, and reverse it. It's the same fucking thing said two different ways.
No, it's not because
100% is.
No, it's not because you're saying that because the way that they'd figure that out is that they have to get everyone who's ever been abused and then go, all right, well, how many people have you abused? And then if that correlates with a greater number, then that's how they figure it out. But
People that are prosecuted and put in jail for abuse, they will typically, turn around and say that, I've been abused.
you don't know how many people that have been abused that haven't abused someone else. That's what I'm saying. That's why you can't say that if you've been abused, the chances of you are that you abuse someone else.
No, you can. You can still say that.
No,
You still can say that. It's not wrong either way.
Yeah, I don't think you guys will follow what I'm saying.
No, I'm
But,
100% following what you're saying, but it's just the same thing said two different ways.
Oh, well, let's agree to disagree with that one.
Oh, look, either way, we can cut down the effects of it and then essentially cut these groups out of society because there's no place for them in one mind.
Oh yeah, 100%, man. Like there seems to be like this is just one that I found, but there's mention of others and it has links. So it's like a little fucking bubble that people that are into this sort of pro-pedophile bullshit are into.
It's weird how those people attract those kind of people. So I'd watched a documentary from Louis Theroux again, and he did this pedophile ring or syndicate or whatever you want to call it. He's done it twice now. I don't think they were the same groups, but there seems to be if you find one, they're connected to a series of other pedophiles within certain areas or whatever. And the other thing that I just wanted to chuck in is they all look like fucking pedos too. There's a fucking pedo look.
They got to look.
There's a look.
That's true. All the pictures that are on this website were just like fucking seedy dudes.
There's a look, and you're like, oh.
Well, like it's funny you say that because I mean, it's not really related to that, but the modern term now for people like this is MAPS. You ever heard that term? MAPS. It's short for minor attracted person. So it's a term.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so
they're trying to jazz it up, Joe Dirt.
And I shit you not, there are campaigns that exist now that are being funded that are trying to change the way that people perceive the word pedophile and trying to change it out from using the word pedophile to MAPS.
There's actually, I saw this on YouTube. It was a clip, and a comedian does a thing about there's actually pedophile is specific to a certain age group, and there's actually two other words for earlier ages. So if you're attracted to someone between the ages of, I cannot remember what the words are, but say it was, if you're attracted to someone 6 to 10, there's another word. It's a something file. Say 10 to 14, it's a something else file, and then 14 to 18 is a pedophile. And his joke was something around, and if you've taken the time to explain this, then you're going to sound like a pedophile. The fact that you actually know the specifics of what it is. And yeah, you don't hear these other two files. I can't remember what the words are, but
that's
pedophile's actually specific to a certain age range, and there's other specific age ranges.
Fuck. I mean, that term MAPS is explained as being the term for people who disdain from actually going through with it, having contact is the word that's used. So non-contact people is what the words that, again, like changing the words used to make it sound less cunty.
It still just sounds terrible.
It is terrible, fucking terrible. And like the effect that this has.
What do you think the punishment should be?
Anyone who carries out an act should be put to death like that, because what?
Not even chemical castration?
Nah, fucking death.
Don't worry about chemical. Fucking chop them off.
Well,
nah,
that's
fucking
barbaric, but yeah.
I don't give a shit, man, because I would happily do time to anyone who hurt my children. I would fucking do time.
Yeah, same.
I'll do time as
in I would put them down and do the time.
Oh, fucking oath. Yeah.
Yeah, fucking A, man.
There's the effect. Like people say, it's bad. But if anyone who's actually met someone who has suffered any sort of sexual abuse in their life and heard the stories and the years that have gone by that they've suffered, just is terrible.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's fucking terrible. Like, yeah, no. I'll just kill him. Just fucking take him out back. One on the head, done.
Yeah.
No, they need to suffer.
I think death is a bit easy. I think they should be chemically castrated and then locked up with restriction of privileges for life. One of those things is solitary confinement for an extended period of time.
What about someone who is inclined that way but knows that it's wrong and seeks help for it?
I think you'll find that most of the time these people aren't rehabilitated successfully.
He's
I don't know anything about that. Like,
He's talking about someone that's that way inclined and has never done it, but is attracted to them, and that's a fucking fine line. And I'd probably go to the docs and be like, "Yep, chemically castrate me, mate." Yeah, that's what I'd be doing if I was
chemical castration have effect on? Like, does it delete the sex drive?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because it's removing all the testosterone. Unless you're artificially putting hormones in your body, it's removing all the testosterone into your body. So you know how you're a male and like you're sort of like, yeah, I'm a bit randy. I go crank one out. Yeah, it doesn't sort of get that far for him.
Okay, I'll have to look into that. Yeah, interesting. Anyway, someone bring us up to a fucking happier note.
Quickly. The guy that invented the very first the guy that cracked the Enigma code, this isn't anything to do with pedophiles, so sorry, was actually gay. And he chemically castrated himself in 19...
Hang on, say that again? The guy who
built the machine that cracked the Enigma code was gay, and this got nothing to do with pedophiles. He ended up seeking medical help because he was gay. And at that time of the history, it was very frowned upon. So he actually opted to get chemically castrated. So this brilliant mind, he ended up committing suicide, unfortunately. So this brilliant mind that brought that fucking saved millions of lives was put in a situation like that. Man, that's disgusting.
Well, if he didn't save millions of lives and he was just a dude working at a steel factory, would you still feel the same?
Yes.
What do you got, Caleb?
That was a real downer.
Oh, bring it up for us, bud. Let's put some pep in your step. Bit of chili in your Jap eye. Let's do it.
I'm a bit hesitant to do my topic breakdown now because of what he's just been talking about.
Well, shoot for the stars, mate.
Are you like cunt as in body parts? Is that where you're going down? I mean, I can't think of anything else.
It is the worst topic, to be honest.
It's great. Or it's not. Well, Mighty Topic wasn't great. I mean, like, fuck, that came out wrong.
Just not where Ryan went with it, because I'm going to go see you next Tuesday is something I say to my daughters every fucking week, because I have them every Tuesday night and every second weekend. So every week I'm saying to them, see you on Tuesday. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Why don't we go straight to the ND and then come back to you?
Hang on. Does that cross your mind?
What?
Like CUNT when you're saying it to them?
No.
When you're saying see you next Tuesday?
No, because it'll be see you on Tuesday. See you next Tuesday. Like, it's my daughters. That doesn't come into my vernacular at all.
Do they say see you next Tuesday to you?
Yes, all the time.
Can you abbreviate it for them?
No,
CUNT?
because they're 6 years old.
Can Uncle Josh do that?
I would fucking giggle like a little. Again, that was not. Oh man,
This is what I mean. Like that whole fucking
sort of set a
pedophile
tone, hasn't
discussion.
it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really fucked where I was going to go.
do you want to go to ND and then we'll come back to you? That way we've got a bit of a break. We can talk about something
Jesus
a
Christ,
little bit
how am
more
I going to do
lighthearted.
this? All right, let's do ND.
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 Negligent discharge.
Is this week's format? Oh, shit, because it's all fucked up.
You started that
started
fucking train, mate.
Caleb ended it.
Well,
Who's got ND?
I've got ND, and well, it's me. It's always me. I always fuck shit up. Oh man! Now my ND is, I don't know if it's like an ND or if it's just a funny fucking moment, but as I previously mentioned earlier in this podcast, I was out hunting with a bit of a bung knee and saw a deer. This is when I was chasing the deer actually, and I was running after it. I typically would just hop fences. Like I'm tall enough that I can just grab a post, jump 2 legs straight over, no worries. I've gone to do this on an electric fence, and I've taken a couple of, like totally forgot I had a bung knee, taken a nice little run up, and then the legs given out under me completely, and I've gone like almost as fast as I can run straight into this fence and like clean myself up, cut up my legs, and like completely rattled myself. Like I was on the fucking floor. And I've gone, what the fuck? And then I got up, and then I could see like Hayden's like walking down when he went through the gate like a normal person, and like laughing at me. Like, what the fuck just happened there? Like, oh yeah, okay, I see that. But yeah, that's
Did it shock you?
yeah, I reckon it did. Like I don't know, I don't remember. Like it happened so quickly, and all I just remember is pain because like my leg gave out, and then I gone whack into this fence, and I was sort of like sprawled down on the floor.
You didn't hit the electric first, did you?
They're all electrified. All the fences.
Oh, it was probably fucking giving me a good zap then.
Yeah, but you didn't. There wasn't like an electric line at the front.
No, I didn't. No, it didn't zap me, and then I've gone. No, because I had my hands on the timber pole that was. Yeah, no, it's definitely a timber pole, and to like vault over it without touching it, and I didn't even get to the whole jumping part because my leg just gave way.
And you were doing this with your rifle in your hand.
No. I'd carefully put the rifle over onto the other side of the fence,
So you could jump on it.
so I could jump on it, and then it goes off. And then, you know that game where you shoot an arrow in the air and the last one to move is the winner? It's kind of like that, but with a rifle. Nah, I put my rifle down and like away from me, and then went to do a bit of a run up and just fucking ate shit like an absolute champion.
Oh dear!
Yeah.
Ouch.
It hurts. Like I got a
I didn't-
massive cut down my leg now.
I thought
I don't know how.
you had a bung knee from the fence, not
Nah.
you went in with it.
No, I got a bung knee because I got pissed drunk and decided to dance like a dickhead and then did something in my knee. I woke up the next morning like, fuck, my knee hurts. Then I just couldn't really
Where
walk.
were you dancing?
I was at a mate's house, had a couple of beers, and we were watching like, what's that song? Like MILF Money? The one with
By Fergie.
Fergie, yeah. You guys seen the film clip for that?
No,
I just remember milk,
Do yourself a
milk
favour.
being poured over breasts.
I've not seen it.
Oh,
I've even
come
heard the song.
on.
Yeah.
Come on. You've seen it multiple times.
I don't. I don't even know the song.
From
I don't
all
know
the
what
times you've been on YouTube.
Sing the chorus.
I used to live with you,
I
and
got
all
that-
I could
I
hear
got
from
that-
my
I got that
bedroom
milk
was
money.
you playing video clips late at night.
Sing the chorus. I literally don't know. I haven't heard it.
The chorus is literally, I got that milk money.
I've never heard it, bro. Not once.
Look
I mean,
it up.
I don't normally listen to that sort of music, but when I'm watching YouTube, I do. It's a gateway.
Caleb doesn't watch it for the music. He watches it for the milk.
We were just watching. What were we watching? Steel Panthers video clip,
Party like it's the end of the world.
and it's
Just tits and ass.
just tits in
Well,
it.
somehow when it came out, it was not that version. That
No.
was the explicit version we just happened to
And that was on YouTube.
happened across.
Maybe YouTube's lowered its standards.
YouTube. Yeah, see, this is the bullshit of our world. It censors some stuff, but then gratuitous drug taking and tits out, it's just okay.
It's
that'll
just
do.
rock and roll, man.
There is a warning at the start of the video,
That makes it all okay.
Yeah.
just like we have an explicit rating on this podcast. Makes it all okay.
It does. It's fine. You can listen to this if you are 9 years of age.
I don't get it. Anyone like fucking a teenager, like a young lad who's just discovering how much he loves the female body,
Has Google.
has Google. He's not going to be like, oh fuck, I'm not 18.
Hell
Yeah,
no.
probably shouldn't watch that. Oh, your phone is just.
Somehow my Google Assistant is responding to your voice.
Hey, Google, look up porn.
just looked up.
What the hell?
He's just looked up.
This is what I mean. Google is always listening.
Nah, dead set. You're discovering your dick. You're looking fucking. You're typing in 2 girls kissing. Definitely on your Google search.
What?
Mate, you don't know what porn is
I mean,
at 6
Think
years old.
you're not
so
going
you're gonna
there.
start
You're
somewhere.
not going there. You're going
Or
how
fuck.
to kiss a girl.
After what they teach in schools these days,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Let's not go down that rabbit hole again.
yeah, that's true. But is that actually what you Googled when you were young?
I have
Like,
fucking
like,
Google when I was 6.
Yeah, pretty much.
There was no Google.
There was dial-up internet if you were lucky.
And to own a desktop computer, you were like, oh, fucking fancy.
Fuck, I remember
Josh did, but
the old floppy dicks. Floppy dicks? Wow. Floppy discs that would like circulate when you're in middle school. Like just as CDs were coming in. And there was one that like, oh, fucking look
Bro,
at
I used to put Pokemon on those discs and sell them for like $2.
Pokemon.
Yeah, the game Pokemon. Dad, because we had this computer and I was never really into computers, but
Poiter was.
when my dad was, and he used to sit down and like download a game or whatever for me, I don't know, or my sisters actually. But I learnt a code that you could type in that it allowed you to download the game, and then you had to like have a crack code. So just on the floppy disk, you
Oh,
write
the old crack codes. Yep.
on it, and yeah, I used to go around school selling for $2.
Is that like, I could just imagine the disappointment in your mates' faces when you're like, yeah, it's Pokemon, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and they go home, it's like fucking Pokemon. They're like, what? What is this?
Back then, we didn't have porn like on the internet, so it was like the Penthouse centerfold.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you'd also sling them for $2.
Yeah, man. Go down to find the mate that you've got that looks the oldest, go into the deli to get like, was it Ralph? Ralph magazines and Hustler and...
He did all this, but he didn't swear.
Yeah, that's right. just a theme, but wouldn't say
Piracy and distribution of porn.
I still remember the
No
first
swearing.
time I bought fucking Jimmy's, mate. Like, which one do you get?
How many other things did you buy?
And then you're sort of like,
Did Jimmy have better porn, did he?
I feel wrong. No, condoms. Jimmy's.
That was a joke.
But I have one funny thing, actually. So a friend did have a centerfold page that looked suspiciously like a teacher at school. Like, ridiculously suspicious. Like,
I'm assuming it's female then.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, you reckon that it was
that-
actually your teacher?
That circulated for a while. For yeah.
Wasn't it
Around
actually your
school.
teacher, though?
Yeah. Yeah, I believe it was.
Holy shit. It's like the song in real life.
But yeah.
Hell.
I remember that.
Bit weird, but that's right. She ended up caught having an affair with a drama teacher. She was the drama teacher, I think. Caught having an affair. No, it was my home group teacher and her were having an affair.
It's just a lot of drama.
And she used to drive a Nissan Patrol.
Was she into poo stuff?
I have no idea, mate.
Trolling for poos?
Not in that article anyway.
You never know. She might have had an R18 plus. OnlyFans. I was going to say OnlyFans, but that wasn't the thing back then.
Pen pal OnlyFans.
She just
I'll
gets fucking
write
carpal
to
tunnel.
you with my quill. In cursive.
The internet.
No one writes cursive anymore, eh?
I tried it the other day.
fucking
Do you know,
love it.
I actually tried it the other day because I'm like, I don't reckon I've done this in 20 years. And I tried it and I couldn't remember half the letters. And it just looked stupid because I write all capitals as I have done.
You fucking yell at everyone on paper.
As I have done. Well, that's because when I mean, a lot of guys do for some reason. But when I was going through uni, that's how you do all that's like the standard for all design drawings and even engineering drawings is capital letters. So I just got into that habit and I enjoyed it. So that's how I've written ever since.
So you changed the letters that you use because you enjoyed writing them.
Yeah.
Did you try like
my best subject in
lowercase?
school was tech graphics.
Did you try lowercase and you're like, yeah, I'm not really feeling the fun.
I think my writing looks, I think it looks girly with, that's not a slide
Hang
on women, but I think my writing looks feminine
Yeah.
when I write in uppercase and lowercase versus when I write all in capitals.
Mine looks like a 7-year-old with a crayon.
Looks like bloody letters, mate, on a paper. Calligraphy's where it's at, bro.
Calligraphy.
I would love to learn
I was just going to say, you can't write calligraphy.
Dude, you just need
Would
to learn to
love
write.
To write it, man.
Isn't
words.
calligraphy just the art of writing words? It's not like a...
It's fancy now. There's like scripty fonts, like specific stuff you need to learn.
Sanskrit.
Man, I'd love to, actually. I used to enjoy, I can relate to Caleb a little bit because I used to enjoy writing in cursive as a kid.
You can relate, but oppositely.
Nah, computers have made handwriting redundant, really. Like in terms of
I just watched you scribble in your book for like an hour before this podcast.
yeah, like I mean, I'm not talking about no one writes ever like anymore. I mean, like just generally, there's.
Don't get arrested, by the way, with that notebook on your person.
Oh yeah, I know, right? I've just got
written
all
a bunch of
fucking
notes about. What was it?
might tear that
Nambler or
out.
something.
Might tear that out and burn it. Actually,
Sure.
Yeah.
it's like I'm like, yeah, no, it's a podcast.
And
it's a podcast.
maybe delete your
Search
Google
history.
history.
No, I did. Fuck me, I didn't Google pedophiles. Jesus.
Yeah, but you've been on Nambler.
Actually, that's true.
Yeah,
I should delete
100% that website's getting watched.
Yeah. No, I'll.
That's what he means about the AFPs coming knocking on your door.
Yeah, I meant the AFP. Sorry, not the ADF.
ADF.
Thank you. Sorry.
Forgot you.
Yeah, you did. I meant the AFP. Yeah, you know how when you want to buy something and you search something, like, you know, when you screwdriver and then all the ads pop up in your Instagram about
Yeah.
screwdrivers.
I'm going to be in some fucked up mailing
Look out,
lists.
bro.
Oh, shit.
You know how you get like people calling and you're like, how the fuck did they get my number?
Oh, shit.
Oh man.
You might find yourself on a list.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely just going to burn my phone.
All right, now that we've raised the mood a little bit, I'm cautiously and with respect and just forgetting the first half of this podcast, I'm going to bring up my topic breakdown, which, as I mentioned before, whenever I have my kids and then they go back to their mum, I usually say, see you next Tuesday every week, which got me thinking about having them intermittently and on weekends quite often where I'll miss out on a hunting trip or a time at the range or whatever. So without being too serious about things, I want to do what we do a lot of the time, which is spitball an idea, absurdly as you want, but as we do, spitball a business idea, which I've gone down.
Not online business, is it?
So what I'm proposing we hash out is a sort of daddy daycare, if you will, but for blokes who hunt, who miss out on being able to get away, but they have kid obligations.
I feel like you just need to jump online and look at maps.
This is why I feel so terrible about going with this after what Ryan was fucking talking
I just
about.
feel dirty.
I know.
I need to have a fucking shower.
I feel sick, but
No, but this brings up another thing, and we've spoken about this on the podcast before. When you're a male and you're a single parent and you've got your kids, you have daughters, you got to take them into the bathroom. You know, it's sort of the same thing. You just automatically you don't feel like you're dirty, but you judge that you're dirty. So why do you need to feel dirty about a daddy daycare? Why can't dudes fucking do daycare?
they can with the right training and the right certification and police checks. There is nothing wrong with it. There's plenty of guys who operate childcares and work in the childcare industry.
I think that there should be, again,
I'm
separate from the last thing that we were talking about. I think there should be more men in childcare.
And teaching. There should be
teachers,
more male teachers as role models,
they're
as
trying to
good,
phase
solid
out-
role models.
They're trying to phase out men in teaching, mate. They are.
Well, it's one of those things where teaching and roles that are typically lean towards interacting with people, females tend to take those roles. Men tend to go for the more dangerous. Yeah, that's the whole thing. So it's sort of like nurses, why there's more women that are nurses than men. I think teachers fall into the same category. Where you can't really be like, oh, we need more men. There's not enough. It's the system. Because I don't think it's the system. I think it's just men typically wouldn't lean towards that. So I think more men should be in those. Well, not more men should be in those roles. I think it would be great if more men were in those roles as positive male role models, like what you said. But the likelihood of that happening, I think, is pretty small.
Look, I wouldn't want to do it. My dad's been a teacher for a while now, and he's had a tough time in the past with. Now, it doesn't have to be a girl. It could be like he's telling a student off and the student runs to mummy and daddy and says that my dad has told him off in the, for the wrong thing or something like this. And then suddenly there's got to be a sit down with the principal, my dad, and the parents. And, everything can be just... as a male, just picked apart so easily. I'm trying not to use the obvious example here, but unless we change that attitude as a society, it's not going to happen. No male is going to be like, yeah, I'll get into fucking early learning.
Yeah, that's true. There's a if we, that stigma of men can't be nurturing.
Well, the chicks go on about male privilege, and I'm like, well, guess what, mate? It's male privilege that you're automatically guilty in every fucking scenario when it comes to children.
Oh, man. Not even just children. But
Makes
just
it too hard.
Oh, period, yeah.
Period. We don't have those, but there's a really good example that I've just had. A really good example that I experienced. I can't remember if I've spoken this on the podcast or not, is when I took my wife to the emergency ward because she'd fallen over and smacked, not her eye, but her forehead. And her eye had gone black, and then she got approached. I went to take a piss. No, I wasn't even to get a piss. It was to get a needle in my arm because I was there as well. Long story short, I went out of the room, and this gentleman, which is not a word that I would use for him, but this gentleman came over and basically literally said to her, what's the story there? And she said, oh, no, I've just fallen over and hurt myself. And then he wouldn't take that as an answer. He pushed and said, are you sure? Is that actually what happened? Is that?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just
guilty. I had the same. I had the same thing happen in a hospital where my ex-wife was helping me carry my bass drum from my drum kit, and she tripped over and landed. The bass drum hit the ground, and then she landed on it neck first and jarred her neck. Anyway, hospital via ambulance. They gave her the green whistle in the.
What? She went to the ambulance over a jarred neck.
Dude, they thought she might have broken her neck.
Oh, so she's fallen.
She landed
onto
and
it
then
with her neck in a weird spot.
Yeah. So they, as a precaution, she got taken to hospital. So the fucking green whistle on the way to hospital, and she's always had weird ass reactions to like morphine or anything like that. She's allergic to penicillin, but
Most people are.
any sort of bloody like pain medication, she'll go loopy. Anyway, so she's in hospital getting treated, getting checked out, and they gave her some morphine in hospital, and it was like she was high, but
That's because she was.
Yeah,
well, she
I gonna
was,
say.
but it was like she was
Off her tits.
off her tits, like ridiculously high.
Yeah, it's because she's probably never done
And
it
then
before.
they were like, well, you should be over this by now. It's probably time to go home. And she was like, no, I don't feel like I'm well having this pain medication. Anyway, because she was carrying on so much about this pain medication, this nurse took me aside and said, what's going on here? Like, she's injured. She doesn't want to go home. What's going on at home? And she was effectively accusing me of abusing her. And the whole story about the drum kit and her falling over on it was bullshit. And she was avoiding going home because I was some sort of abuser. And I fucking lost my shit at this bitch because
Rightly so.
I was like, how dare you accuse me of something? She's always had this crazy reaction to morphine or anything like that. And you guys are not listening to her. That she shouldn't be having it because she always has this reaction. And so that was one time. Even actually, weird things happen. So my daughter at Auskick last weekend, on the Saturday at Auskick, they were doing this drill where basically a lot of them were trying to get to a ball at the same time, and she went in low, and this other kid went in low, and they smacked heads, and she copped it in the eye socket. So of course the next day she had a shiner. So we're at the playground. This fucking crack whore with 3 kids to 3 different fathers, I'm assuming, comes up to me and goes, oh, yeah, black eye, huh?
Oh, as in insinuating that
As in
you've
insinuating
done it.
I gave it to her. And I'm like, excuse me?
What a cunt.
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you so familiar with this that you're just like, oh, yeah? Or are you actually accusing me of doing this? And I'm like, no. She did that yesterday at footy. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I feel like if women want to like do the things that males do, they're going to have to expect these things, these shiners. And
Well, it's not the trouble is that there's been entire campaigns promoting this sort of attitude that men are just violent like that.
Oh,
Like even now they play
they're
them with
still
the whole like,
trying to,
stop
like-
it while it's young.
yeah, they're still trying to fucking make kids stand up in class and apologise for fucking get boys to apologise for all the fucking women beaters out there in past history. Like it's
What?
stupid, man. I think it was at Dad's last school or second to last school. They got all the males to stand up and apologise for
What the fuck?
pretty much
Yeah,
like,
that's a
abuse
crock
for
of
women.
shit. That's a crock of shit.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, man. Dad had enough, and he was like, "Oh, fucking see ya."
Leaving this school.
Fuck that. And they wonder why the suicide rate for men is so fucking high.
It's only going to get worse, mate. Like we're breeding. One, we got a lot of fucking snowflakes, and 2, we're breeding this I'm sorry fucking culture. Like, you know, soon we'll have to apologise for fucking asking for a bag of potato chips, mate. I don't know. Like it's going to be ridiculous.
Fuck it. Well, I mean, there's the campaign that I was referred to just before was the one where the ads, they've got like pictures of young lads and they're in scenarios, and they've also got older females standing up to them, and then the scenario is like a parent saying to a young girl, he only makes fun of you because he likes you, and then the older teenage female saying, actually, no, that's wrong, you know, and then it's got the whole like stop it while they're young.
yeah.
Like what fucked up message is that saying?
I'm
just
making
about
fun
men
of you
generally?
because you've got fucking wok eyes, all right?
And
Oh.
I mean, I'm speaking anecdotally here
No,
again.
that ad campaign makes sense.
but it makes
Because it's trivializing something that can, like, while they're young, that seems innocent enough, that seems like it's just a common thing that people say, or like saying to like a 5-year-old boy, he's going to be a real lady killer when he gets older. Like, people don't think twice about that, but when you actually look at what you're saying there, it's probably not the best thing.
No one fucking
that
says
ad
that.
campaign, I
said that about my kid.
Oh, yeah, but your kid, bro, he's going to slay biddies.
I don't mean that in the sense that he's going to be a man whore. I mean that he's just going to be a very attractive guy.
No,
watch
he's-
that ad campaign again. It actually is.
He's gonna
it's
be a
all right.
smooth
It's
criminal,
not. It's
bro.
not woke and fucked up.
Nah, I don't agree. Like,
Watch
I
it
don't
again.
agree with it. Because
Watch it again.
I've
I
watched
don't
it a couple
agree.
of times.
I
I don't
don't
agree with it because it's not focusing on the scenario. Because there's different scenarios that are applied. It's putting a blanket implying a blanket generalization on males.
If they're going to do that, then they need to make the same advert but switch the roles. A male that's getting picked on by a female.
And women, like females in high school, are fucking ruthless.
Yeah, man.
Absolute fucking ruthless.
When I was a kid, if you were short, portly, skinny, fucking, I don't know.
It's called life. It builds resilience. Get over it.
Well, you're just arguing against life resilience, mate, with your whole cryptic fucking breakdown of that bloody thing. So you're either for it or against it. You're talking about building character and just life. Well, fucking.
I can't remember the finer
There's a-
details,
there's a
but I
difference
remember
between-
watching that campaign and going, "All right, there's nothing wrong with the message."
If you
It's
can't
not like
say that, then 2
it's not
seconds later go, oh, that's life, with the same fucking thing.
because
being
we're talking
picked
about
on
an
about-
ad campaign versus something
No.
that happens to you in life.
No, it's no.
You're not
the
gonna
ad
stop
is
it all.
saying the same thing as being picked on by a woman about not wearing fucking Dada pants or I don't know what you fucking wear.
No,
punk kids wear these days.
What I took from those ads is they were focusing on a generalization of men in general. What they should have done is proposed alternative responses from the parent, not having.
did.
No, they did.
I'm sure they did.
I have not seen any of that. All I've seen is scenarios where they're being told something's gone in the conversation's gone like traditionally the way that, not traditionally but like typically the way that parents would speak, like what you said about he's going to be a lady killer, but then they're getting pulled up by someone else saying that it's not right, but it's all focused around men essentially being let go, tending towards violent behaviors or abusive behaviors, and then they're saying stop it while it's young. That's the whole premise that ad campaign is running on.
I feel like they're addressing what is the main problem versus they don't. You're saying they should have the exact same thing but targeting women.
No, that's not what I'm saying. No, that's what
I'm
he's
saying no. For you to say what you're saying, to make it equal, well, you play one advert with the male being the bully and one advert with the female being bully, and we level the playing fields. We don't, and so we cut down any sort of implication that this is stereotyping a male picking on a girl because he likes them.
Well, I don't think there's in that particular case. I don't think there's anything wrong with being specific.
No, because girls, as Ryan just said, and it's true, can be just as bad, if not worse. So let's take away the let's take away the doubt of the ad targeting males and make it equal. So just run alternate.
Oh,
ads,
yeah, I see what you're saying.
male and female.
No, that's not what I meant. What I meant is if they're going to address that particular thing, instead of pulling it up and saying, you know, that's wrong, mum, being by a young, like the girl in the driver passenger seat. I think it was in a car, the one that I'm remembering. What they should be doing is telling the girl to stand up for herself and push back, not tell the boy, tell the girl that what the boy is doing is wrong. Give responses that enable the girl to be more independent and stand up for
I do see
herself.
what you're saying, but then rather than have the girl have to defend herself, the boy should know better in the first place to not do it.
Well, no,
That's what they're addressing.
But that's
You
what
can't say that
growing
'cause
up
they're
is.
growing
That's
up.
what
Like,
That's
man,
what they're
learning
addressing in
what
the
is
ad.
wrong
They're
and
targeting
right.
a problem. Like if you've got an ad for a toaster,
That's not
then you
for the
don't need an
government to
alternative ad
decide
for a
what to
fucking
do,
kettle.
mate. That's
No,
the parents on their own back.
The ad.
It's a campaign.
What I got from the ad
No.
is because they say stop it while it's young, right? That's the whole line. It's basically saying stop young boys from having these behaviors because they lead into domestic violence. That is the whole premise of these ad campaigns.
Yeah, and it's just no. It's no. Fuck off, government. Get out of our fucking everyday lives. Parents do a fucking better job at being parents. Fucking, that's where the ad
Do you know
should
what?
be.
Do you know what it's actually doing? and I'm not saying that I'm fucking, oh yeah, this ad campaign's great. What they're doing is addressing the lowest common denominator. There's people who are educated and people who can see it for what it is, but then there's actually people out there who would have never actually had that message come across their thinking at all.
No, I disagree these days with school and society.
I can see. I agree.
Think about
In
the
Western
low
society,
Think
no.
about real low socioeconomic areas, man. Where people.
I think you're using an excuse that was maybe 20, 30, 40 years ago. Yes, but today, no way.
You forget.
Nah.
There are people out there in these areas that they have never
they've got
experienced.
TV, they go to school.
You fucking let me talk. There are people out there that would have never ever seen that message at all.
It's
So
never
what's it gonna
seen
change
that message
then?
at all.
What's it going to change?
So
putting that message
might be
out
the
there?
only time they ever see that message.
They're getting right and wrong and the basics of right and wrong from everyday life with TV, with any sort of advertisement and school. They're getting that, mate. They're already getting these building blocks.
I think that what they're doing,
But yet they're not.
I think that what you're saying, Caleb, is right. Where they're trying to portray something for the lowest common denominator, but what they're doing is they're presenting it in a way that's a generalization of men, and I think that is what we were talking about earlier about the stereotype of men being the violent abusers. That feeds that stereotype. So.
It is, and I don't like tarring everyone with the same brush.
Yeah, that's what I'm
But
trying
I can
to say.
still sit there objectively and go, oh, well, that doesn't.
But most people wouldn't do that.
Like, okay, I know all that stuff because I was brought up well.
Yeah. Yeah. So most people aren't critical thinkers. So they don't look at something and then try and break it down to understand what it is, why, ask all the questions. So that's why I think a campaign like that is particularly dangerous to a cohesive society where equality is supposed to be this point that everyone pushes, because what it's doing is putting a negative stereotype against males. And I don't think it's helping. I think it's, if anything, it's turning it around and going, okay, well, what we need to do is keep our eye on all men now. We need to make sure we keep an eye on all the boys. We're going to make sure they're not going to grow up to be violent offenders and abusive. So
it is too far skewed towards males, but there's a reason that it's targeting males, because the vast majority of these incidents of domestic violence or whatever are perpetrated by males. That's not to say women don't do it, and women
majority
can't be as bad as men in that space, but the reality of it is that mostly the perpetrators of it are men. This is why it's a campaign targeted at men. And definitely the vast population of young boys out there shouldn't be standing up in school apologizing for something they haven't personally done. Fuck no. That is ridiculous. So I agree with all that sort of stuff, but I don't see anything wrong with trying to address it on some level, especially when there are people out there who would never have had that come across their desk.
No, look, I just think there's a better way of doing it. But I think on the flip side to that, they should also have a campaign to teach young ladies respect and dignity and a little bit of honor in the way that because like men typically are more physical, and that's like the whole physical violent thing. Women are emotionally manipulative.
Oh.
That's the traits that they have.
They'd do far worse.
Exactly right.
Things.
All of the suicide and all of the depression and all of the anxiety that stems from high school typically stems from bullying within social groups and females.
The relentless stuff that then continues on via social media or whatever.
Exactly.
Girls would play in that space way more than blokes. Blokes just tend to fucking deck each other and move on.
Exactly right. And that's why I think there should be like a campaign that says definitely, presents a different approach for boys and men and how that can get addressed in terms of like the violent abuse and that sort of stuff. A better way of doing that. But also think there should be a campaign to address what young ladies are acting like as well, because that has a huge fucking impact. Like you can go to school, you get bullied as a bloke. Like I got bullied relentlessly in my younger days at school, but at the end of the day, it didn't really mean much. because it was physical and then a couple of name calling and that sort of thing. But if you're getting relentlessly fucking psychologically beat up by groups of what people that are at your school 24/7, they need to have a campaign for that. Like, where the fuck is that campaign?
Well, reality is it should be about just treating everyone with respect, regardless of you being a male or female. I mean,
oh, absolutely.
Where's the they, them pronoun fucking gender neutral campaign as well?
No, there's too much promotion of victim
They have
mentality.
too many campaigns already.
Yeah.
Anyway, so back to my topic. And something that sort of sparked this for me is when, as I have a new partner now, but as effectively a single dad, because when I have my girls, it's when I spend time with them and I'm taking them to the playground. You always see those other dads there all the time. You can see them a mile away. It's just, you can tell they're either divorced or whatever, and they've got their kids for the weekend, and you can see them in the playground. You're like, oh, yeah, here we go. Another dad with his kids at the playground. And it's like, you kind of, and that's why I suggested like flippantly, the daddy daycare thing where dads can get out and do stuff they want to do. But I think.
So you're talking about a daycare specifically ran by men for men to drop their kids off.
But probably what would be a better idea is some sort of group where, like, guys who like things, like-minded men, shall we say, who have similar interests, can do the things they like to do with or without their children involved as well. Somehow create a community around that. Is there a way of doing that where you can go to a range and there's a fucking creche there? I don't know. I'm spitballing, because that's what is fucking hard, is balancing the spending time with the kids, which I love doing, but then also it also sucks missing out on the guys who don't have kids, or they have a missus who can look after the kids. They just get to go out and do what the fuck they want every single weekend. Is there a way of structuring something?
Look, I've done a bit of research on this locally, actually.
Well, there you go.
So there's a couple of groups around that do like dads and kids things, like, but they're targeted towards, like, I was looking for 6-year-old. My son's 6 years old, so 5, 6, something like that. There's not very many groups of that age. There's heaps of like new dads and stay-at-home dads and like dads with young kids. But there's only like a handful of groups locally that I found that did like nights out at like pinball galleries and like sort of kids orientated stuff. But I haven't seen anything that does what you're talking about, where you go, it's sort of a mix between the two. Like, it's sort of a social group, I'd say, where you.
Yeah, like they have creches at gyms, they have all that sort of stuff, so you can do an activity while you've got a kid, and the kid isn't missing out terribly on spending time with you.
So you got going on the range. What else are you thinking, like, that you would like? So you're talking about taking your kid and doing something with your children, or having
just somehow
something that accommodates children?
Somehow structuring being able to do the things you like doing, but also either involving or having your kids not necessarily looked after, but just involved, or, well, essentially taken care of while you're doing that thing.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a social group sort of thing. I mean, I don't know. I haven't. Be interesting. Those who are listening that have found something similar to that.
I'm sure there's stuff with other things, but specifically around hunting, shooting, fishing. Outdoors. I don't think there would be many outdoor things, and there'll be a lot of outdoor dads in similar positions. They're like, oh, yeah,
like
cool.
Scouts?
I love my kids, but like,
is Scouts one of those things? I don't know. I went to Scouts twice and learned how to tie a knot, but
I don't know. Anyway, spitballing.
That's interesting.
Something.
I mean, it could be like a group that gets together once a month and then goes out camping, and then you'd have like the kids go to bed, and then the blokes have like their time around the fire.
Maybe. But then, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want to hang around just a heap of kids all the time, because that stresses me out. Like, even, it's funny, like, my kids do Auskick, and the one I took them to last year was sort of closer to where I live, and all the parents helped out, and there was only one instructor. So it was very much parent driven, and all the parents jumped in and helped out. The one I'm taking them to now is at the halfway point between me and their mum, which is in the eastern suburbs, which is a bit, people that don't know Adelaide, the eastern suburbs is a bit snobby. So they're going there at the moment, and that's very well run by 3 blokes. But the parents fucking sit on the sidelines and drink their fucking lattes after they've got out of their Range Rover, are shitty about the fact it's cold and wet.
Yeah.
And unless they absolutely have to, they will not help out. So quite often it'll be me who helps out in a drill or like a handball thing or whatever, because there's usually 5 stations and only 3 blokes. So some of them have to be run by parents. And typically it'll be me. Also because my girls, Dad, you'll help out. Dad, you'll do it. But I'm just like, fucking get involved, you kids. Like, it's fun doing things with them.
Yeah. It sounds like the parents aren't there for the kids. They're there because they feel like they have to be.
But I also don't have it in me to just be around small children that aren't mine. That's stressful.
Yeah. I quite enjoy talking to kids. I quite enjoy like mentoring young men as well. Like I got a lot out of that when we did we did that through one of the high schools around the corner from the church that we did. It was like an outreach program that we did. That was quite I don't know, like I just got a sense of fulfillment. I mean, not like giving back to the community or anything like that, but being able to pass on what limited wisdom I had at that time, but have conversations with guys that would actually look up to you.
Oh yeah, I mean they're a bit older though. They were teenagers. Like I'm talking about little kids like 5 and 6.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's
I
love it.
I don't understand primary school teachers how they can do it.
Oh no, fuck that. A room full of 30 like 5 and 6 year olds. It's just mayhem.
Yes,
absolutely fucking. Like I just can't picture being able to control it. And my hat's off to the teachers that do that, because I just want to sit in the corner and drink a beer.
Anyway, my point is, I would love to know what's out there, because sometimes as a dad, when you just got your kids and you got to come up with all the activities, and then you see the other sad dads at the playground, you're just like, fuck, there's going to be a better way of doing this so we don't miss out on stuff. And it is, don't get me wrong, I love spending time with my kids, but it is equally as frustrating on all the stuff you miss out on.
Do you let your kids choose the activities, or do you choose for them, or do you help them choose? Like, how do you do that?
Bit of both. So they'll quite often say, oh, can we go such and such a place, or can we do this? And then just as equally, I suggest that we do stuff. So it's a balance. But I'm also careful not to be Disneyland dad as well. So it can't be every weekend that I've got them, we go do something crazy. There has to be weekends where we're at home and do drawing and painting and all that sort of stuff. So
when I have my lad, we've got a list that we sat down. Like I basically got Google out. First I asked him, like, what do you want to do? Like, what's the things that you want to try? I didn't say where do you want to go. I said, what are the things you want to try? And he was like, oh, I want to go to space, and I want to ride a dinosaur, and like all this sort of stuff. So then we got a list that I wrote some stuff down, he wrote some stuff down, and then on the weekends where we would go and do something, he looks at the list in the middle of the week, and then he picks whatever. It's something off the list. So he goes, oh, what do you want to do this weekend? I'm like, mate, it's up to you what you want to do. We've got a list of all these activities that we've both written down. You can pick one of those. And I think that worked quite well, because I didn't end up waking up on a Saturday and being like, oh, fuck, what do I want to do today? Just sort of help prepare a little bit, because when you are like by yourself in those scenarios, time is definitely not working for you.
Yeah, you don't want to waste it.
Yeah.
It's good having an activity. Like for my kids, it's Auskick at the moment. It used to be dance, whatever. But at least it's that thing locked in already in a Saturday where you're not just milling around. You've got something to get to. Anyway, I don't know if that's, I don't know. That was a random collection of thoughts, but.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I think there's definitely a social aspect with dads that would be beneficial for everyone, because when I was first introduced to being a father with a baby, I had no fucking idea what was going on and what to expect. I sort of had the people that you knew that had been dads, and they'd give you advice and stuff, but it wasn't like, I mean, your kids and my kids they are the same age. So we sort of went through that together. But I think, Josh, when you have a kid, you'll experience it yourself. Like there's no one sort of parallel with you.
I could jump in, but I got the way that I want to raise my kids, and I'm sure that's not going to happen, or it's not going to happen completely to my plan. But at the end of the day, the kid's just going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, that's parenting, man. There is no rule book. Like you do the best that you can do.
Man, my parents did this to me, but it was not with anything that was titillating to say. So it was church. Everything was church orientated when I was growing up.
That's
so
how my family
it was Sunday twice a fucking day in the morning. So we were up in the car by 8 o'clock on the way to church for 9. Church would finish just after lunch. We'd come home. Typically wouldn't get lunch because my mum can't cook for shit. We then basically back in the car at about 4 to go to night church, and that sometimes went all the way to midnight or past midnight on a Sunday night.
Yeah,
and then,
I remember those.
Then they held Bible studies during the week. So they'd have music when they first got there, and then music when just before everyone left, like as a closing thing. So you'd have to sit through that as a kid, and then everything else that they dove into their life with when it comes to the church. And I had to just sit there and deal with it. And look, I had some good times in church, and I met Caleb, which he's certainly fulfilled a lifelong friendship and a lifelong time.
He completes you.
Well, man, Caleb's brought a lot to my life, and I brought even more to his. So
He's also taken some things away.
So, it's not all for the worst. So when you talk about this idea, Caleb, I sort of sit there and go, can't you just bring your kids with you? And then you talk about the next sentence, community, and I'm like, well, you're a part of a hunting community. I'm pretty sure there's some dudes and their missus that would be fine to look after your kids at the range.
Yeah, but a big part of hunting is also getting away and getting away.
Well, the range?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. There's a balance there because you don't want a bunch of kids in a environment like that necessarily. But all I'm saying is that there's a frustration around not being able to do those things as much as you want versus the fun you have with your kids when you have them versus responsibility and obligation. Like it's a balance, man. So
the way I also see it is the kid's going to learn a lot more in my eyes seeing their dad chase his passion absolute.
Which they still do see.
They do.
But I don't do it at their expense.
But is it at their expense if they're there learning the things that you've learned that now are helping you in your
at the right time?
Life.
At the right time. So when they are now at their age, they're starting to show an active interest in what I do and wanting to come along. But there's no way at 3 years of age I'll be like, all right, you're sitting in a car and you've never had to keep a 2 or a 3-year-old occupied while you're just trying to do something completely else.
No, I was just locked in the car, bro.
Yeah, exactly. So that's no way to treat your kid.
But you were just saying that because your parents were into church, right? That was what they were passionate about. They did what they wanted to do that they were passionate about and took you along.
I'm glad
kind of despite you.
Despite you. Yeah. And it sounds like you didn't have a good experience.
I didn't because it was literally me just sitting on the floor, not even on a fucking seat, mate, on the floor with my legs crossed for hours on.
Yeah, bored off your mind and being sniped at if you made noise.
Yeah, when it was a subject that was beyond me. Now, the reason why I took to shooting is because my dad put this rifle in my hand. He took the time out. He loved doing it. So, and I could see the passion that he liked to do it. He put the rifle in my hand and he taught me. He actually went through step by step. This is what you do, blah, blah, blah. And that's why I took at 5. 5 was the first time I shot. 6 was when he bought the air rifle. And I just grew up with the air rifle at 6.
You were into it though.
But, well, I was into it because it brought my dad closer to me and it was a thing that we could do together that we were actually doing something.
And kids will naturally do that.
I'm not saying that you have to do it with shooting.
They will try and look like they're interested in and to gain your approval because kids always want their parents' approval. And so they will naturally do that anyway. So you go, oh, I'm so happy that you want to do this thing that I like, and they can see that. They can see what you're passionate about for sure, man. But they're not going to be down for everything you want to do.
Yeah, and look, I get that, and guess what? You're under my roof, motherfucker. So, life sucks as well. So that's a lesson in itself. So I sort of sit there and go, like these are all teachable moments for the child, and currently I'm an adult, and I actually know what's a little bit better, and it's also because you groom kids essentially, being a parent.
Let's use a better word than groom a kid, please.
Well, you do.
You try to pass on your values to your children.
How to think, the way to think, and inadvertently, especially with males, we have this really, really strange things that we all turn into our dad. It could be the smallest thing, but we turn into the mannerisms. Might be it's not every part of you that you turn into your dad, but there's parts of your dad that come into you, like mannerisms or the way you think or the way you chatter your teeth or these little idiosyncrasy things that come in.
They're not. You don't turn into your dad. Like you can. Like me and my dad have got different opinions on some.
Yeah,
real
you can have
topics,
different political opinions,
traits.
religious.
Yeah, but there's a
you like
difference
it or not.
between a trait and like being like aligned.
But I
you don't have to be
see
a clone.
you and your dad. I see you.
Oh shit!
your
Yeah,
dad in you.
I like fuck. What did I say? I said something to Archer as I was pulling out the driveway, and like on the tail end, I'm like, fuck. I sound like my mum because it was word for word what my mum was. I think I was telling him off.
Yeah, that stuff comes out all the time.
But that's like your learned thing. It's an experience that you're going through that you've been through before. That your brain goes, bam, this is what.
Well, that's
you
what I
said.
want to teach a kid at a young age. Me,
Just
how to be me.
To be you.
Sit down
It
and
won't
shut up.
work like that. Do you know, I learned this the hard way because Archer loves music, like absolutely fucking loves it, same as I do. And when I was his age, I could play instruments. I taught myself to play instruments, and I tried to get him to do that because I was like, had this vision, like, fuck yeah, like we'll just be jamming out and it'd be awesome. And like I gave him a guitar. He could play it, but he didn't like it. So I would push it. I had said like every Wednesday, man, guitar practice, like it's Guitar Wednesday, done. And he would remember that. He was like, it's Guitar Wednesday, Dad, it's Guitar Wednesday. Like I could tell he was a little bit how you going. I think it's like Caleb said, like kids will do it because they want to spend time with you and want your attention. But the more I did it, the less interested he was. And then it became a point where he just, as soon as I walked away out of the room, he'd put the guitar down and start playing with other toys.
See, this is where I feel like with as a hunter and a fisher and that nature also has its power over a child a little bit too.
I would disagree with that.
I do.
I think
What do you
people,
mean?
Yeah, actually,
Like
that's true.
you take the child out into these, crazy environments. Like Ryan was just saying, okay, you wanted to teach him music inside. Okay, there's no nature inside. When you take him camping, Archer lights up and gets into it. He may not like it. I don't know. He may not. I'm just saying he may not like it. Oh, let's do it every weekend or this and that. But it certainly has this power and this certain. It's because nature's so brutal. It has this thing that embeds itself into your memory forever, and it can be the smallest little thing that you remember because you were like, oh, it was fucked up that day, and we were getting sandblasted from the wind and this and that. But you just don't get inside. Inside's a controlled environment and you're playing your guitar. Your music is solely coming. Your love's solely coming from the guitar.
I don't think inside or outside is. I think that's irrelevant. I think it's the experience and whether the kid, for want of a better word, identifies with it and enjoys it.
Yeah.
I think it's purely down to whatever that experience or thing is. If it's music or it's sports or it's hunting or it's fishing. I don't think inside or outside.
Have you ever known someone not to want to go away to places, either whether it's in a different country or travel within?
Yes.
Do you know people that are happy to live in their high-rise apartment and see that's it?
Yes.
Yep.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that's what's wrong with the world.
No, dude, that's just your perspective. There's plenty of people that are homebodies and don't like going out in the world and they like being at home or they like being in a virtual world or whatever.
Yeah, I've got a mate whose kids are like when I was their age, when we were their age, all we wanted to do was go camping because we loved outdoors. The kids don't want to get dirty; they just want to play video games.
That's because they got the option of video games.
No.
As a father, you can take
I have
that
taken
option
them
away.
camping, and they fucking hate it.
You can't just do it once. This is.
I have done it multiple times. You can't. there's not a switch that gets flicked when you put any person and grab them out of their environment and put them outside that they go, oh, this
So I
is
disagree
amazing.
with that because they literally make TV shows about that.
Yeah,
You can
with
influence people, but you cannot program them.
Yeah,
You can influence them, you cannot program them.
If it was like that, then everyone who had
think you
stepped
can.
outside and gone camping would be right into it, and then there wouldn't be inner cities.
I was programmed, so I think you can program people.
You were programmed to sit in a corner and shut up.
And then you're talking about like what do you fucking call it? Brainwashing. Fucking, it can be done.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay. From that perspective, yes, you can program people. You can brainwash them. You can repetitively do something until they accept
That's
it.
taking away their decision and their will.
Exactly. That's taking away the free will. So wouldn't you prefer your child to be presented with...
I don't know if you're serious or not.
I think he is. Wouldn't you rather present all these options to your kids that you would like them to be involved with, but you cannot, and then they decide with their own free will? Or would you rather beat it into them that you are going to like camping, fishing and hunting?
When they're 18, they can do what they want. And I know that there's a need for screenplay these days because of tech is the way of the future. So I know that there's going to be a bit of that. But most certainly I'll be, and this is what I don't comprehend, and I don't think I will comprehend until I'm a dad, and that is, in my mind, I'll just take him with me, and look, man, if I've got to go hunting with him and he's on my chest and I've got to put him down 10 metres away, well, I'll take a shot with his earmuffs on and then run
Easier
back and
said
grab
than
him.
done.
Oh,
Easier said than done.
look, it is easier said than done, but I'll do it.
I don't think your missus is going to let you do that.
Yeah, should be all right.
I think that, like, and correct me if I'm wrong here. It sounds like you're saying that.
No, I did say I don't know. I don't know because I'm not a dad.
No.
I will
this
find
is-
out
this is
when
what-
I'm a dad
this-
how
let me finish what I'm
it'll
saying.
happen.
Like, it sounded to me like you're saying that until they're 18, they're
They
going
will
to do.
just shut up and do what you tell them.
Yeah, do what you tell them to do.
Oh, I have no doubt that that's not
My
the
parents
case.
did
but-
that with me, and I didn't speak to my mum for 2.5 years.
Yeah, I have no doubt, mate. But whilst they're under my roof, there's going to be like my rules to a point. I'm not going to be an iron fist fucking that's it. No, you can't do anything unless you run it past me. No, I'm going to be like, look, you want to get drunk? Look, you're 13, 14 now. You're going to start drinking piss. Okay, cool. Just do it at my house, you know.
Rules are one thing. We're talking about interests and things they like doing. That's very different. So you can't say, while you're under my roof, you will learn piano. Because, well, you can do that, but guess what? Your kid's going to resent you because you're making them do something that they don't want to do.
Well, if they don't know if they're going to like it or not unless they try it. But the thing is I'm going to be in a van. So it's going to be like, well, this is the way we live, mate. This is just our lifestyle of how we live. So, you sort of – I don't
Kids will adapt.
necessarily want to buy a house until I'm ready to. So for the time being, it'll be send it, mate, in a van.
So if your child came to you, say hypothetically you got 2 kids, and your mindset's going to change and all that, but right now, if you had 2 of your children come to you, one's 12, one's 14, you've moved around a lot. They've not really had any grounding in long-term friendships or anything like that. They moved to schools and they see that all the other kids have got that, and they said to you, Mum, Dad, can we live in a house and stay somewhere? What would you say?
Well, I'd say, well, if it was the way that me and Mrs. were feeling, I'd be like, yeah, okay, we'll move into a house, but I'm not going to let a kid dictate it. No way. And most certainly, they're not going to have long-term friendships. I have Caleb, Brian, Josh, Jordan. I have everyone's kids for them to be around and socialise, and everyone that we meet and this and that. And I'm sure they'll make friends on the road, and they'll make friends, long-term friends with whatever. Yes, I'm going to treat them as an adult at a younger age. That's something that I think that's just what I would like to do.
What do you mean by treat them like an adult? What does that mean to you?
Okay, not treat them, talk to them as an adult I guess, and hopefully learn some lessons a little bit sooner than what I did. Having said this, I don't know because I'm not a parent, and I just said this to both of you.
No, I'm just picking your brain, man. Like, I understand that.
You're going to go into doing something like this with some form of a plan, and we know that the best laid plans are fucked up. But you know what? If I have a plan and it fucking just deviates by 1 degree, well, cool. I'm fucking 10 degrees closer than what I was.
I'm not
without
asking
a plan.
questions as a gotcha. I'm intrigued as to how you see yourself as a parent. I'm not trying to set you up for failure.
I think you have a lot of ideal scenarios. But
Well, my kid's just not going to have a choice to live any other way.
Yeah, like that's fine. If that's what you want, if that's how you see it, that's fine. I'm not saying that's wrong.
No, I'm not trying to justify it either.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know how it's going to go, but in my mind, the kid's going to have one way to live whilst he's under my roof, and that's the way that I live.
that's all they'll know, and the kid will adapt. Like, I'm sure if a kid was born in a fucking cave and never saw the sunshine, they would adapt to that scenario.
Yeah, you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly. You don't know what you don't know.
I think what
Like you're talking about daddy daycares in Manly pastimes on weekends. So you've got a community that'll help you look after the kids. So just bring them so you don't miss out.
Yeah, but then they have to be entertained for that time. You can't just fuck off and do whatever you want.
But you've had this is part of the community. This is part of community.
There has to be a structure to it and some sort of recognized system, because otherwise it's just like, well, I'm just going to fucking rock up and abandon my kids. Hopefully someone looks after. That's not how I operate.
Oh, it's not how any parent should operate. You're always going to be organised.
No one should. There's people out there that do that. That just be like, oh, there was a
that's
group
scary.
here. Like, I can forget about my kids now.
No, but
I can't stand people that do that.
I feel like part of it is like if you're going to go and bring your kids to like a barbecue or something like that, well, you're going to sit there and play with them as a group.
Yeah, but that's a
and
barbecue.
look after them as a group.
That's a barbecue.
Or just minus
That's
the barbecue and add a rifle range and a line that they can't go past.
Nah, kids don't operate like that, man.
But you've got everybody watching them. And
Well,
helping
you don't,
out.
because if
You don't.
everyone's shooting,
Because everyone wants to be doing something else.
No, there are multiple times where you're shooting and I will not shoot. I'll either watch you or stand back or fart us around, do something multiple times. That's fine. Then you finish your group, your barrel's calling, tag team.
Yeah, but you're a inverted commas trusted fucking watcher of my child versus
That sounded
someone-
very loose.
yeah, very loose, and that's why I did inverted commas, man. Because some of your fucking decision
I'd
making.
never leave my son with you.
So versus
Okay, well then you can't complain about not going and seeing.
Maybe
and
there isn't
doing
a
stuff.
world that doesn't. Maybe this could never get up. Maybe this could never exist. That's why I asked the
So
question.
you'd rather just have an establishment that of strangers that you don't know look after your kid while you just go shoot.
No, well, there's a difference between an established organisation with training and accreditation versus a bunch of strangers.
Were you trained or accredited to have a kid?
No, I'm talking about. I'm not left with the care of someone else's kid, am I?
No, but you're looking after a kid. It's your kid.
Yeah, it's my kid. That's different to looking after someone else's kid.
See, I feel a little bit hurt when you both say that you wouldn't let me watch them while you're shooting, and you're there. You're within 40 feet of me. I kind of feel like almost pushed aside from your lives because that's not how it should be.
Hey, wait, say that again. When you're next to us at the shooting range,
If you say that you wouldn't leave your kid with me,
I was joking.
at the range. Look, I know you were joking, but I sort of sit there and go because it hasn't happened and it doesn't happen. So there's truth to it, really. And I sort of sit there and go, well,
Here's a
okay.
fucking question: are you even allowed to take a child there?
Of course,
I don't actually know the answer.
That's a great question, actually.
Of course,
I've
we've
I've
also
taken
shot
Archer to the
many
range.
times on private property.
Well, private property,
which we
yes.
could have taken the kids too.
I've taken Archer to a range. Like there wasn't an official there, but he wore earmuffs and I mean he was 5 at the time, I think. But I don't know. It'd be interesting because I don't think you'd be allowed to let them shoot at the range.
Nah, yeah. If anyone's going to pick on the kid shooting and not paying his subs, they're going to fucking cop a punch in the head.
Yeah.
But,
We've shot on private property with my girls, and they've been in your care while I've shot, or I've had one of them and you've had the other one.
yeah, and it worked. So
do
let's do it more
you
often.
feel upset because you think that we wouldn't leave our kids with you?
Nah, no.
Like,
Caleb's left his kids with me actually for a few hours. Yeah, you had to go out one night.
because
You were like, can you babysit tonight? I was like,
they're
yeah,
already
sure.
asleep, yeah.
So
But
they didn't leave
they-
you with the kids. You were in the same
They woke
house as
up.
the kids
Oh,
that were asleep.
Harper woke up, actually.
No, I'd leave you with Archer.
No, but
He'd run the-
what
he'd
I'm
run the
saying
show.
is like, you know, the community and is there. Like, it just is a fact of organising and doing it and go, okay, well, the kids will be there, so can we all pitch in? Yes, sick. All right, what food do we need? Cool. What hearing pro do we need?
That's like, I think that's like everyone going and doing stuff with their kids. Like, I think the idea of having a child care or a creche or like a cordoned off area where there is someone who is qualified that looks after. So it's like going to the gym. Like there's creches at gyms.
Yeah.
All
Yeah, I know. I get that. I do.
I think it's a great idea because then you can the guys like the stay at home dads as well that might want to go to the range in the middle of the fucking day. They can
But
go
is
down
that
and drop
no
their 3-year-old
better
off
than
a creche and
locking
then-
your car in your kid in the car? Of
course it is.
Oh, fuck no.
Obviously, from a health point of view, it is. But you're essentially doing the same thing. You're just
No, you're
going,
not.
dropping him off, going, go play in that little segregated area, and I'm going to go
With
do my
other
thing.
children, and then your kid's not going to resent you for locking them in a car with a window crack.
Look, I get there's a
can't believe
slight
you're comparing
difference,
a
but
creche
a
to
little.
locking your kid in the car.
There's a little bit of the same.
But
thing.
it's also a step
See,
closer to having them
is nothing.
involved in what you're doing because they know why you're going there, and they know while you're shooting a rifle, they're having friends and some fun.
They're having social interactions. That
Social
is
interaction
super important,
close
man.
by, which is
Super
better than you
important.
just going to the range and they're not there at all.
Yeah, no,
It's a step in the right direction.
I get that, but you could do that really as is. I love camping when you bring Archer on, and I'd like to go camping when you have your kids there, Caleb. Actually, I'd just like to
do
see
it.
him run around and carry on, and I'll just sit in my chair and fish and watch them, and yeah,
Minus the responsibility.
you can fish and watch. You've taken your kids fishing and been fishing and just watched your kids. I know you have.
Of course, I have
It's the
multiple
same thing.
times.
So
do you know how
that's
many
not
times I have to
dodging
cut it short
responsibility.
from how long I'd want to be there?
Say again.
I still have to cut it short from how long I'd like.
That's
to
when
be
you
there.
start a fire and go sit in.
Yeah. Look, I get what you're
keep
saying
warm,
because
sit
when Archer did come along to, I think it was the last time we went camping together. It was actually quite good because everyone, like you said, the people that are there actually
Looked after
interacts with the
kid.
Well, they didn't look after him in the sense that like fed him and like cared for him, but everyone
Watched
would
him.
talk to him and interact with him, and like he's a bit of an old soul. I don't know if it's because he mostly interacts with adults, but he gets out and talks to adults a lot, and so other being adults there, I watched him like wander around and chat to people, and like he was mucking around with your missus, like the pool noodles and stuff. Like, I think you're right in the sense that everyone in a community will be interacting with the child and keeping them entertained a little bit. But
And when I have
think-
a kid, I expect you to be there in the same manner.
yeah, absolutely,
100%.
yeah.
Like, whether you like it or not, I couldn't give a
Yeah,
fuck.
for sure.
I expect you to be there because you be his uncle. So
Yeah, look, and then for me, growing up, having that sort of community and camping, and it was all family for me, like cousins and uncles and all that. When we're particularly when we're out camping, that I can't remember. I think I've only been on one trip in my entire life. It was just me and my dad.
yeah, you went up the guts.
No,
You went up the guts like up to Northern
yeah, I
Territory
went
with your dad.
through Guts of Australia, but that wasn't just me and my dad. That was me and my brother, my brother's mate, and my dad. And that was so much fucking fun.
Yeah.
That was so much fun. Just the people that we met. I recommend, and we only took 3 weeks to do it. So anyone who wants to go travel and have a bit of a outside of the touristy bullshit, go up the Guts of Australia.
We should do it. With or without
Imagine
the
a
kids.
future
Doesn't matter.
100 years from now where you could sail up the guts of Australia on Josh's canal.
It'd be even better, bro. Fishing the whole way. from fucking South Australia to NT.
That's a fair stretch for the salmon.
Shit, yeah, bro. Imagine hitting like you're coming in and you're into barra territory. Boom, it's gone.
Fucking hell.
Brackish, freshwater, barra on. Fuck yeah. Imagine that.
All right. I think we're
Ryan's fingering the air.
I'm fucking fingering the air like there's no tomorrow.
Wow. The highs and lows of this episode.
It's been a roller coaster.
There's a lot of lows.
There's been some highs, there's been some lows, there's been some moments where I think I would have cried. But
Oh, look, I almost got emotional with like. Nah.
you're just an emotional dude, man, and that's okay.
Almost had an emotion.
Yeah.
You almost felt something.
Yeah.
Was there a heartbeat that cracked the ice shell?
Nah, I just want to annoy you guys 24 hours a day.
Mission accomplished.
I mean, you're covering off at least 8, so
Yes.
well done. Anyway, I think it's about time we wrap it up and put the bottle down.
Yeah. Bunch of alcoholics.
No, we're good. I've only had 4.
I've only had 2/3 of a bottle of wine.
Yeah, no, I'm
Ryan's had a very strong coffee.
I can actually still taste it on my
Moustache.
my poopy lips. It's quite strong.
How good is coffee though, bro?
Coffee is great,
Oh,
but if you have too much of it, it's not good.
that's a squatty bum.
Oh yeah,
Anyway, I think we're done.
We are
Let's
done.
wrap it up for this week. Thank you for listening. If you have any feedback, send it our way. As usual,
give us a chat.
we want to hear from you.
More importantly,
Thanks for listening. Tell your friends.
More importantly, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for next week because we've got a fucking exciting fucking episode for you. Wow.
Great.
I was expecting you two to carry the wave on, but yous are just, your batteries are just running flat, aren't they?
Stay tuned. We're getting excited.
Nah, nothing.
No worries. Ladies and gentlemen, Instagram, Facebook, Send It Mate podcast. Tell your friends, tell your mum. I said hi.
Oh, shit.
Jeez, we're a cohesive unit.
All right, dude and dudettes. Till next week.
Peace.
Catch ya.
Bye. G'day, dude and dudettes. Josh here. Do you find it hard to keep your long, hard barrels free from gun STDs? Maybe you need a clean out of your bore. If this is you, jump on over to highcaliber.com.au and use the promo code SENDITMATE to receive a 10% discount on all your gun cleaning needs. And remember, it's sexy to support Australian-made products. Everyone here at Send It Mate uses High Caliber, and we can promise you that it'll keep your firearms free from those pesky gun STDs.